Dad, where have you been? I was so worried. Go away. Don't touch me. I froze on the spot, not understanding why my once kind-hearted father was being so cold toward me. I snapped out of my daze and tried helping him forward, but he flinched me away. My eyes started to tear up, and I didn't know what to do. Then another woman appeared. She quickly helped him up and smiled at me. Don't worry, sweetie. I'll take care of him. Excuse me? Who was she? My mother had barely been put in the ground, and Dad had already moved on? I couldn't watch any more of this, so I quickly left the room. How could things go downhill this quickly? My life used to be so simple and perfect. I had a loving family. I was always on top at school. People always complimented me on how I inherited both the beauty and intelligence of my mom and dad. But then a traffic accident happened and took Mom away from us. Ever since then, my polite, well-mannered, loving dad changed into a cruel, bitter drunk who seemed to despise me. The next day, I arrived home from school with the worry about what state my dad would be in. But, why was Uncle Alfred on my doorstep? I invited him inside, and there was Dad, slumped on the couch, surrounded by empty beer cans. As soon as he saw us, he slurred out and started throwing the cans at us. Uncle Alfred then took me to dinner so we could have a talk, and I couldn't help the tears as I blurted out how bad things were at home. He patted my arm and said, "Your father's been through a lot. I think it's best if we give him time to sort himself out. I think you should come live with us for a while." So that's how I ended up living with Uncle Alfred, Aunt Madeline, and my cousin Charity. At first, everything seemed fine. As bad as it sounds, it was a relief to be away from Dad and to be able to properly process my thoughts for once. I was so grateful to Uncle Alfred for giving me a second home. But then he went away on a business trip, and everything changed. I was walking back to my room when Charity appeared in her doorway and tripped me up. As I stumbled and landed on my hands and knees, she snorted out, "Yes, that's right. Bow down to your queen, you hideous peasant. You should know your place in this house." Ugh, that girl was such a pain. Since her dad went away, she wouldn't quit tormenting me. It's ironic that her name is Charity, but she doesn't seem kind at all. I'd had enough of her cruel jibes. This had just got personal. So I angrily replied, "I know you're just jealous of me because your grades suck and you're not as pretty." Charity's eyes welled up. Then she shoved past me and ran to her mom. I followed after her and explained what happened to my Aunt Madeline. She frowned at Charity, then scolded her. Phew. Fortunately, I had Aunt Madeline on my side. Anyway, justice is served, right? Wrong, as it wasn't long before my aunt's attitude changed toward me too. One time, I was helping my aunt cook a casserole when the doorbell rang. It turned out to be an old friend of my aunt. As soon as she saw me, she happily said, "Wow, it's only been a few years, but Charity sure has grown up. The older she gets, the more she looks like Alfred, doesn't she? Look at her eyes and smile." I stared at Aunt Madeline in confusion and saw her mood immediately shift. That night when I brought the casserole dish out, Aunt Madeline took one bite, then spat it into a napkin. "You're clumsy, thoughtless, and now an awful cook? Be a bit more useful, will you?" I stared at her open-mouthed, unable to find the words to say. Then Charity piped in, "Please, never make this again. Casserole is so gross. Just like you." Then she smirked at me as she dumped the entire plate into the trash. Weird. Didn't Aunt Madeline tell me to cook this because it was Charity's favorite? It seemed like life in this house wasn't going to get any easier. Over the next week, their mocking and snide comments continued. One day I styled my hair in a different way, and Charity sniggered at me. "What's that? It looks like you got a lobster on your head." Have you ever considered dyeing your hair, by the way? Because blonde really doesn't suit you. On another occasion, I was invited to a party, so I put on this cute dress, but when I walked downstairs in it, they both stared at me. My aunt said, "Oh, dear. Is that piece of rag making you look even chubbier than usual? Or is it because you've been so well fed living with us?" Another time, I was sitting at the breakfast table, dabbing lip gloss onto my lips, when Charity yanked it off me. As I tried to grab it back, she sniggered out, "What for? Putting this on your gross lips just makes you look desperate. No one wants to kiss you anyway." Gosh, my patience with this girl was wearing very thin. Worse still, Aunt Madeline overheard the whole thing, but she just laughed. I didn't understand why they were being like this. I knew I wasn't ugly or fat, and far from it. I know I'm pretty, as I was always complimented on my glossy long hair. Well, until I moved here, anyway. This was so confusing. Why were they jealous of me? It turns out that being too beautiful was not easy. Ugh. Things got trickier when my dad, who's also the school principal, returned to work after his time off. He totally ignored me, and it made me feel terrible. Then I arrived home from school to Aunt Madeline fussing over me and asking if I wanted anything to eat. Huh? What? Oh, I see. Uncle Alfred was back from his work trip. Ugh! It was time I exposed this mother-daughter duo's fake act once and for all. So that evening, I volunteered to cook. Yep, you guessed it. I made the casserole dish. As I brought it out, Charity accidentally shouted, "Ew! I already told you I hate this dish." Aunt Madeline turned pale, and Charity gave this gawping, shocked look. Then I dropped to my knees and pleaded, "I know I'm wrong. Please don't punish me anymore. I don't want to sleep in the basement again." Uncle Alfred looked very confused, so I continued. "I forgot that Charity hates this dish. I've been punished several times, but I still keep on messing up. I'm the one to blame." "What is this? I go away for a few weeks and come back to carnage?" He ordered Aunt Madeline into their room for a private chat. "We're not even related. Don't expect my mother and I to be nice to you," she said, then stormed off. What? What did Charity mean? Of course we were related. Aunt Madeline was my dad's sister, right? I wanted to know what was going on, so I hid behind the door and listened in on their conversation. "Tell me the truth. Teresa is your child with Claire, isn't she?" I was taken aback. Claire? My mother? Had I misheard her? "I know. Mark told me. The day Claire had the accident, they ran some blood tests, and he found out Teresa's blood type didn't match his. Obviously, she's not his biological daughter, and she looks just like you. Now tell me, did you and Claire cheat behind our backs? You used to be in love with her before you married me." So Dad treated me like that because he found out I'm not his own daughter? And Alfred and my mom used to be in love before she got married to my dad? "Explain to me!" "Enough!" Alfred finally spoke up. "I have nothing to explain to you." Hearing footsteps toward me, I rushed to my room, closed the door, then crawled into my blanket pretending to be asleep. Suddenly, I heard the door open. It was Alfred. "Teresa, let's get out of here." I packed a bag and left with my Uncle Alfred. We moved into a small apartment not too far from his house. Even though he took care of me a lot, he never mentioned that day ever again. I didn't dare to ask either. So we just let it slide. He had to be my real dad, right? He just wasn't ready to talk about it yet. I tried to avoid Charity as much as possible, but this wasn't always easy as we went to the same school. It wasn't like I was scared of her or anything, it was just awkward. Then one day, I walked along the corridor to see flyers stuck to lockers, doors, windows, and floating around the floor. They all had a picture of my face on them, and scrawled across them was, "This fraud is the product of her cheating mom and a married man." Everyone was giving me dirty looks and whispering about me. I panicked and rushed out of there, but I wasn't looking where I was going and bumped straight into a jock, and standing next to him was Charity. "Enjoy the fame. These flyers were specially made for you." Right at that moment, my father appeared holding a flyer. He waved it in front of her. "What is this? Who allows you to trash the school with this rubbish? Leave Teresa alone." I couldn't cope with my father right now, so I ran off to class. That afternoon, I heard the school speaker announce that everything written on the flyers was lies, and Charity would be in detention. Once the last bell rang, I just wanted to get home and hide away from the world. But as I walked outside, I saw my dad waiting for me at the gate. I had nothing to say to him, so I ignored him and walked off. "Please, Teresa, at least hear me out." I stopped on the spot, then walked over to him. I guess it was time I found out the truth. So, turns out, yes, I'm not his daughter, but I wasn't Uncle Alfred's daughter either. "I found this, and it made me feel so guilty," he said. He showed me an artificial insemination certificate file. Turns out after years of trying, my parents went to run some tests, and my dad was diagnosed as infertile. Mom didn't want him to be upset, so she secretly got artificial insemination and gave birth to me. "It was never your mom's fault, and I was wrong to treat you like that. I'm so sorry." A fresh strand of tears streamed down my face with each word I heard from him. "Teresa, I'm so sorry that us adults, selfishness and bitterness has hurt you." Startled, I turned around to find that Uncle Alfred was already there behind me. I guess he'd come to pick me up, and I didn't notice since I was talking to my dad. He must have heard the whole story. "Alfred and I will do anything to make it up to you. Even if you want to find your biological dad, we'll try our best." I looked at him and Uncle Alfred, thinking, there's no need to, as I've already got two amazing dads.
Aha! A snowstorm's coming! Perfect for a race. Let's go, my loyal soldiers! Looks like a big storm, guys. Shall we head home? Scared already? Cowards! I was born and raised in the snow. This is nothing. Then I signaled for Bam and Holly to speed up, but they stopped and barked nonstop instead. Is that pile of snow moving? I hurriedly ran over to check. OMG! It's a boy! No, an angel with blonde hair. My heart was racing. Is this love at first sight?
Help me.
No matter how much Eldon and Era objected, I insisted on bringing this guy back to my place. I had to take care of him myself. Oh, looks like he'd woken up. Are you okay?
Where am I?
You're in my house. I'm Brenna, by the way. I found—
Oh, God.
Huh? What's wrong? Something on my face?
No. It's just that you're too beautiful. Like a real-life Snow White.
Then he said his name's Beavis. He came here to travel, but unfortunately was met by the snowstorm. Yeah, it's gonna snow heavily in the next couple of days, so you should stay here until you recover. After a few days, Beavis got better, so I showed him around, on the sledge. Although Bam and Holly were practically just walking, Beavis still freaked out so much, he huddled up against me. Hold on tight, I'm speeding up. We went up a hill, then through a pine forest and arrived at, ta-da, probably the biggest frozen lake he had ever seen. I taught Beavis how to drill a hole in the ice, then he excitedly dropped the fishing line. The following days, I continued taking him sightseeing, and we were basically inseparable. We went to see polar bears, kayaking among the icebergs. I taught him how to make instant snow by spraying boiling water into the cold air, and we even watched the spectacular auroras together.
Wow, I've never seen such beautiful scenery before.
Yeah, and I'd never seen such a beautiful face before. Just like that, Beavis spent day after another with me here in the Arctic. It's been so much fun, but for some reason, my friends Eldon and Era were not having any of it. They seemed to hold grudges against him or something. One time when I was arranging supplies in the root cellar, I heard Beavis's ear-piercing scream. I hurriedly checked and saw a white fox dashing out, followed by giggles outside the window.
You're such a chicken, big city boy. It's just an extra-large kitty.
Then Eldon and Era burst into laughter. Ugh, can those two show a little hospitality? At dinner, I cooked him my signature dish as an apology to Beavis for those naughty friends of mine. He was totally cool about it and even told me stories about his friends back at home and about their lives in Florida. Whoa, it sounds so magical. I wish I could lounge around on a beach and soak up the sun while enjoying my coconut drink, too. I went to sleep dreaming about the beautiful urban life. Suddenly, a knock on my bedroom door woke me up. I stumbled to answer it and saw Beavis.
Hey, Brenna, could you take me to the toilet? It's too dark outside and that fox might come back.
How cute! He's really good at coming up with excuses to be with me. While waiting for Beavis, I planned out what we're gonna do tomorrow. As he got back from the outhouse, I couldn't contain my excitement and told him right away.
Hey, I'm all better now. Maybe it's time for me to go home.
Huh? Why so sudden?
I'm sorry, but I really can't take this anymore.
No, how can my first love end this fast? It hasn't even started.
Brenna, it's so tough for me to live here. I don't want to boil ice every time I need a cup of water or go to the toilet out in the freezing cold. And how tiring that we can only go around on sleds. But even if we had a car, there's literally nowhere to go in this gloomy place. But still, I've enjoyed it all this whole time because I can't leave you. I think I'm in love with you.
Beavis,
How about you going to the city with me so that we could stay together?
Oh my, it turned out that we both have feelings for each other, but because of that, he had to suffer in silence. Such a sweet guy. And it's true, he wasn't built for this harsh climate. He didn't belong here. The next morning, I told Eldon and Era that I wanted to hang out in Miami for some days. Brenna, I don't think it's a good idea.
That pansy boy must have coaxed you to do this. Don't buy those sweet words.
I tried my best to explain how nice and polite Beavis was, but they wouldn't listen.
Girl, he got you all blinded. You've only known him for a few days, not enough to tell what kind of person he is. Can't believe you're just one of those shallow girls.
Who are you calling shallow? Yeah, right. I was blinded. Blinded by his kindness. Then I stormed off, leaving Eldon and Era behind.
I just worry about you.
Yeah, right. Worry? Or are you just jealous of me? I came home to a shivering Beavis. He couldn't stand this freezing weather anymore, and I couldn't bear seeing him like this either. So I told Beavis that I would go with him. Look how happy Beavis was, and I too was excited to visit his hometown. It's gonna be fun. It took only less than 2 days for us to arrange things out, buy the tickets, ask Era to look after Bam and Holly, and we're good to go. After a long flight, we're finally here. It looks like a completely different world in front of my eyes. Crowds of people rushing left and right. Suddenly, I spotted something. Oh, that looks just like my Holly. What a spoiled husky. At that age, my two buddies were already the best sled dogs in the area. Oopsie. City folks don't seem too friendly, do they? Huh? What else? Why is it moving so fast and non-stop? While I hesitated to take a step, Beavis suddenly carried me up in the air. Don't worry, I got you. Oh boy, he's so sweet. Beavis then got me transformed into a city girl. He took me shopping, then got my hair dyed. I really like my silky black hair, but Beavis said this looked better on me.
This too, baby girl.
This is a tattoo parlor, isn't it? Seeing my confusion, Beavis explained that couples here usually get tattooed on important occasions, and
today marks the first day that you walk into my world, so I want it imprinted in my heart.
So Beavis and I got matching tattoos that he chose. A weird-looking red shape behind the ears. It might not look pretty, but was definitely unique enough to be special for just us two. Once we were done shopping, we went to a luxurious villa. Oh my, is he taking me to his parents? I'm so nervous, not sure how I should behave when Beavis comforted me.
They were nice. Don't worry, just do as they tell you to.
Just then, the main door opened. Everyone turned to look at us, full of excitement. This must be the first time Beavis took his girlfriend home then. Hello. Hello, everyone. Suddenly a man walked straight over and lifted my chin.
Very similar, but this, but that. Just look at her birthmark. It's Demi. Thank goodness. Our beloved daughter has returned.
I was still processing everything when everyone rushed to hug me and bombarded me with questions. I turned to Beavis for help, but where is he? What's going on? I tried to explain that I was Brenna, born in the snowy Arctic. Both my parents had passed away, and this was my first time leaving my hometown. But to no avail.
My precious daughter, Beavis told us everything. You fell in the woods and had a concussion, so you're having a temporary memory loss. Just get rested for now, okay?
Oh, where is Beavis then? I gotta ask him something.
Don't worry, your savior will be well rewarded. You'll see him tomorrow.
Everything happened so fast, I'm totally lost. But the most I could do now is to wait until tomorrow. I'm sure Beavis will clear things up. Upon catching sight of Beavis, I immediately unloaded it all onto him.
Shush, just listen to me first.
Turned out, Beavis worked here for the Atchleys family. He escorted their daughter, Demi, on a trip to the mountains, but she ran away. Mrs. Atchley was utterly furious about this and used his ill mother to blackmail him into finding Demi. That's why he risked going out into the snowstorm where we met. But why me? I have nothing to do with Demi.
You and Demi look just like twins. When I saw you, I couldn't believe my eyes either. I did what I did because I was worried for my mom. I hope you can forgive me and help us, please. I'll soon find Demi.
So, you were only using me?
No, I'm truly in love with you, Brenna. I didn't want to be away from you, and you deserve a much better life here, with me.
But
just wait until I find Demi. Then we will run away and live happily together.
Poor Beavis. He seriously had the worst luck. If I were him, I guess I would do the same. So I reluctantly lived as Demi. Luckily, her parents thought I lost my memory, which made it not too hard to be her. One day, I received a text from Eldon. I suddenly remembered that I'd been away from home for almost a month. I wonder if Bam and Holly miss me. To say I was not one bit homesick would be a lie. But there's no way I'd speak to Eldon. So I called Ira to catch up on things and asked for her help in the search for Demi. It had been a few days already, but neither Ira nor Beavis had heard anything about Demi. Feeling too restless, I went for a walk in the garden. Wait, what's that noise? Eldon?
See what you got yourself into, idiot. Told ya, I saw right through him.
Why are you here? And what are you talking about?
Ira already told me. Beavis obviously only sees you as someone else's replacement. He doesn't love you. Let's go home.
No, let me go.
Stop bothering my girl.
Leave me alone, please. You're only making things worse. This place has everything and is much better than a hellhole in the middle of nowhere. Live there all you want. Don't drag me down with you. Eldon immediately let my hand go. He didn't say another word, but gave me a disappointed look. Was that too much? Well, he's the one who kept sticking his nose in others' business. Who is he to control me? After that day, I still saw him lurking around the mansion sometimes. So annoying. Who in their right mind would be out in this scorching heat? Today, Mrs. Atchley, suddenly took me shopping. I guess having a family like this isn't too bad, huh? She said tonight I was attending an important dinner party, so I had to put on this tight dress along with a pair of killer heels. They looked pretty good, but I really couldn't breathe. Jeez, how can anyone do this? It's literally harder than walking on thin ice. Ah! Phew, that was close. Thank you, sir.
Careful, I can't be around to protect you all the time.
Eldon, why is he still so kind to me? I wanted to say something to him, but Mom already signaled for me to hurry up from afar. I rushed to the car, leaving him there. Thanks to Mom's preparation, the guys there were staring at me without blinking, especially this special guest. Mom told me that I was supposed to be smiley and friendly to Otis, but how was I supposed to do that when he kept rambling all these boring stories? My eyes wandered around, searching for Beavis and an excuse to leave.
What are you looking for, sweetie? The most important person is already right in front of you.
Ugh! I pushed him away, then ran off. There Beavis is. We should get out of this boring place. Oh, Mrs. Atchley's here too?
What? That's it? I risk being in danger just to find her and bring her back to you. Don't take me for a fool. I'm only her stepmother, but I can tell that girl isn't Demi. I just let you off since she resembled her quite a bit. You're in no position to demand. But didn't you get Otis all smitten also? Isn't that all you care about anyway? So give me my money. I had to rack my brain to sweet-talk that girl into coming here.
That means your sickly mother doesn't exist either, does she?
Oh, sweetie, you've heard it all. So what if that's true?
You won't get a dime. I'll expose your scheme.
Where are you going, sweetheart? It's bedtime.
So my phone was confiscated and I've been locked in this room for 3 days straight. They wanted me to give in and date Otis, but no way. I tried every possible way to escape, but always ended up getting caught. One morning, I was woken up by dogs barking. Annoyed, I went to the balcony to check and saw Eldon and Bam. Eldon signaled for me to stay calm and flew a paper plane to me, then swiftly left. Let's see. Fine then, if that's what he wants. Let's end things here once and for all.
I agreed to date Otis like the Ashleys demanded. I even enthusiastically chose my own outfit, did my makeup with a cute hairstyle. Mr. and Mrs. Ashley were very pleased with that. They couldn't hide their excitement and even stood at the gate to welcome Otis when he came to pick me up. As his supercar arrived, Otis, the preppy guy, had just stepped out when Eldon signaled Bam to charge at him and scared him away. Meanwhile, the Ashleys were screaming for security. I was gonna leave in the midst of the chaos, but don't you dare run away! Ugh! Holly jumped out of nowhere and made Beavis fall to his knees. Holly then bit on his pants and dragged him around. Good job, baby! Right then, a car stopped in front of us, and a girl stepped out who looked just like me. This must be Demi!
Who are you? Why do you look exactly like my daughter?
What kind of father are you to not recognize your own child? This is precisely why I ran away from home.
After that, Demi exposed her stepmother and Beavis's evil plan in my stead. Demi's dad frantically apologized to his daughter and admitted that he'd always been so caught up with work that he overlooked family and his wife's scheme.
Get out of my sight at once, and don't even think about bringing a dime with you.
Then Eldon dragged me into the car, and in the driver's seat was Ira. Thank you, Ira. Just me? Eldon did most of it. I shyly looked over at Eldon. Thank you, and I'm sorry.
It's okay, we're friends after all. I'll take care of you at all costs. Anyway, just hope that you've learned your lesson now, Brenna. Not all that glitters is gold.
Eldon's right. This beautiful city is glamorous, but I don't belong here. I belong to the wind and snow, to the winterland I call home. Time to go back. The trip to the city was like a fever dream, but let's leave it all behind, cause I'm busy racing with Eldon. As expected, he's always as slow as a turtle.
Hi, this is for you.
For me? What's the occasion?
The day we stop being friends. Brenna, what do you say if we become more than friends?
안녕하세요. I'm Minzy from Seoul. Do you believe conspiracy theories are real? Because I do. Before I tell you my paranormal story, please like and subscribe. Nothing much to say about myself. I'm timid, introverted, but above all, I have a big ambition to webtoon horror category. Ahem! It's one of a kind, right? I've spent sleepless nights on that. Go kneel in the hallway for 30 minutes. Now! Aw man, creepy Minzy is at it again. She wants to haunt the whole class with those ugly doodles or something? Ugly? Well, not as ugly as your grandmother. The whole class gasped at my insensitive words. But it's that girl. Supin's fault first. No matter how invested I was into my draft, it only ended up another chance for Supin and her posse to laugh at me. And well, thanks to my poor communication skills, no one wants to be my friend. Well, except Hajun, my childhood friend. He's always been so nice to me. Not to mention, he's handsome, friendly, and smart. You could tell I had a crush on him, right? But of course, I have no guts to tell him. One day I was riding my bike around when I suddenly saw flyers from Blackwood Publishing, the biggest publisher on Webtoon. They're looking for a comic collaborator. Oh wow, I could send mine to them. But would I stand a chance? I bet the candidates are way more talented than me. I guess I better stop dreaming. Just then a skater kid dashed towards me. I managed to dodge him, but ended up crashing onto the pavement fence. I felt myself flip through the air, and then everything went black. When I opened my eyes, I found myself on the hospital bed. Mom and Dad were beside me. They looked like they couldn't believe it, then burst into tears. Minzy, honey, you're finally awake. Thank God. You've been in a coma for the whole month. We were worried sick. Hold on a sec. A whole month in a coma? Was I that seriously injured? It took me a few days to recover and process all of this before going back to school. Bet these kids didn't even notice I was missing class for a month, though. But suddenly, someone sprung on my back. Supin? Here you are, Chingu. Let's go shopping today. The dress you picked me last time was perfect for my date. What dress? Am I friends with these mean girls now? And not just them. Everyone else seemed to be friendly to me all of a sudden. They gave me cookies, carried my food tray, and even lent me their notebooks. It's weird, but kinda nice though. Except the only person I cared about just straight up ignored me. Hey, Hajun, wait up. Are you alright? I'm fine. It's none of your concern anyway. Oh, I just want to check in on you. Could today get any weirder? Yes, it did. When I came home, I suddenly received an email from Blackwood Publishing. Congratulations! Your digital comic is now officially published on our website. To celebrate your success, please come to our office tomorrow. Huh? Is this a prank? I quickly checked, and it's not. My comics were literally on the headliner. But how? I mustered all the courage and went to the publisher. One step in, and I was overwhelmed by all the facilities. It was all so new to me, but just then, a group of people flocked around me and babbled to me nonstop, like they'd known me before. Yeah, our fave boy group BOF, Boys Over Flowers, is holding a concert tonight. Those opas make my emo heart beat like crazy. Hey, you should come with us. It's gonna be so much fun. Eek! Oh, but didn't those boys only lip sync and dance half-heartedly? I even heard people say it's a waste of money going to their concert. Guys, did I say something wrong? Suddenly, I got this chill down my spine. Someone's hands were crawling around my waist. My boo-boo's here. Ah! Pervert! hurt! I turned around and slapped him in the face.
Oh, why did you do that?
It's me who should ask this. Why did you touch me?
Are you serious? Wait, are you still sulking with me?
What?
I'm sorry, okay? Now your boyfriend's ready for some snuggles.
Boyfriend? Last time I checked, I still had the biggest crush on Hajun. How did I settle for this dandy? The guy was extremely clingy. He wouldn't leave me alone for a sec. Don't you have any work to do?
Work? I am. I'm tending to the artwork of my life. You!
Sure. He also kept insisting on seeing my webtoon draft to help me polish it. Help my butt. He only messed it all up. Not to mention, everything is completely new to me, but everyone acted like I'm so used to all of this. This didn't feel right. Later the day I told my parents about this, and they said the doctor did mention possible memory loss due to brain injury. Makes sense. But why did they seem all anxious? Over the next few days, I tried to cope with my new life, even though it didn't make any sense at all. Like, I now had my favorite seat in the canteen. You nerds are sitting on Minzy's spot. Move! And apparently, I got a new hobby of skipping school now. What's the matter? You've done this so many times before. Why did I even do this? Hajun, on the other hand, still kept distance from me. Until today, we had a project discussion. I tried to break the ice, but he only replied coldly.
Why are you here? This whole month you've ditched me to hang out with your hot friends, and now you suddenly want to talk to me again?
The whole month? What do you mean?
You suddenly turned 180 degrees and became this attention seeker. You even pulled stupid pranks on those mean girls and got them to worship you as their leader.
But I was in a coma the whole month.
You're kidding, right?
No, why would I joke about something like that?
Then who was the Mincy I saw every day at school the past month?
Was he saying I was in 2 places at once? How is that possible? Hajun came up with a bunch of conspiracy theories, then concluded that I had an imposter, and she had been replacing me while I was in the hospital. It made perfect sense, but so bizarre at the same time. Seeing how freaked out I was, Hajun gently comforted me, saying he'd help me figure this out. I knew it. He still cared about me deep down. While we were discussing, Supin and her clique came interrupting us. Hey, Mincy! What are you doing with this geek? Remember our group meetup today with the Unsung Highs boys?
Meetup?
No, I don't think I can.
Of course she remembers. Can I come too? I'll keep my mouth zipped.
Fine. Now hurry up. Psst. What are you up to?
Your imposters must have known about this meetup, so she might be there. This is our chance to catch her.
Except the imposter was nowhere to be found, while I was stuck with these self-obsessed dudes. Where's your sass, Mincy? Introduce yourself.
Oh,
hi. I'm Mincy. You can call me Sugar Mincy, 'cause I'm sweet as pie and you sure want to take a bite.
The whole room was dead silence.
Girl, you got no riz. Wonder why you can't date anyone. Everyone was laughing at my face. Luckily, Hajun grabbed my hand and took me out of there. Here's much better, but I couldn't help but thinking how my life had turned upside down because of that imposter.
You all right? You don't have to force yourself into a mold that isn't for you. You're special for who you are, and I prefer this you rather than that imposter.
I could feel something churning in my stomach. I'm so glad I always have him by my side. The next morning, Supin and her clique suddenly came to apologize for laughing at me. But why? Didn't you come back last night and snapped at us? Told us to publicly apologize to you today? I did? So the copycat did come to the karaoke. Did she intentionally stalk me? Later that day, I went to tell Hajun about this.
But why did she have to do that? I mean, she tried to stand up for you, right?
I don't know. It must be part of her scheme or something. I have to find her ASAP. Suddenly, I got the notification of the Mean Girls live streaming at a cafe. Wow, guess who it is, guys? Oh, our little rich lady is a waitress, and she dared to look down on us all the time. She steered her cam towards the poor girl they were talking about, and she looked exactly like me. It's her! Hajun and I immediately rushed to the cafe and saw Supin and the imposter was about to jump at each other. What's going on here? Mincy? What? Why are there 2 Mincies?
It's a ghost! Guys, run!
You! Who are you? And why did you pretend to be me, you imposter? Mincy, finally we meet. I'm your twin sister, Minha. Sister? We're related? But Mom and Dad never told me I had a long-lost sister. Because you're adopted. They didn't know you had a twin sister who just got adopted before you. You're lying. I'm not. I didn't know this either until my mom was in her final moments. Mom had been sick for a while, so one day she called me to her bed, told me the truth before she drew her last breath. After that, I came to find you, but you were already in the hospital by then. You did wake up after surgery, but once you saw me, you immediately had a seizure and fell back into a coma again. Your parents and I agreed it was best for you if I stayed away and waited until you fully recovered. Meanwhile, you decided to live my life for me? Believe it or not, I actually wanted to know what my long-lost twin sister's like, how she's doing. Turns out you're a very talented comic artist, but you're always so insecure, and you're not doing well with the kids at school either, so I wanted to help you out. Sending your webtoon draft, working at the publisher, and fixing those mean girls' wagons. I just went with it and ended up getting too wrapped up. Really? Did you get wrapped up in dating a random guy under my name too? And what about school? Did my parents agree to let you replace me? It was my idea and I persuaded them. They're just worried about you. I didn't ask for any of these in the first place. Thanks to you, I've become a stranger to my own life. You're happy now? Then I ran away, never wanting to see her again. Still, the worst part was, my parents lied to me. Why did you do it? You didn't tell me I'm adopted, and now you let a stranger replace me? Do you really see me as your child?
Minty, honey, of course you're our daughter. Nothing could ever change that. We were afraid you'd be sad if you knew you were adopted. Truthfully, we love you more than you can ever imagine.
It's a lot to process, but I had to be strong and stay focused. But soon, whisperings caught my ears. Did you notice Mincy recently is different? And even a little bit dull? Where's the cheeky Mincy we're used to? Hey, do you get that bad vibe from Mincy lately? Somehow she'd gone back to being a sullen, creepy nerd again. God, why did everyone keep comparing me to that imposter?
Hey, you alright?
No, I'm not. Everyone seemed to like Minha and she'd only been here for a month. But nobody cared about me.
I do care about you. You always got me. Your handsome friend, ready to the rescue.
Whatever you say.
Come to think of it, your sister only meant well. Despite her way, all she wants is to help you to be more open and show your hidden talents to the world.
What Hajun said got me thinking that night. Maybe he's right. If it hadn't been for her, my webtoon would have been forever locked in my iPad. Besides, she's only got me as a family. I've got to see her now. Hey, I came to apologize. I could see you only meant well, and I was only acting ungrateful. I'm sorry. And also, thank you, Uni. There's nothing to be sorry about. It's my fault too for acting on my own and getting myself to fall in love with Siwoo. I haven't told him yet, but I will find the chance. Sorry for dragging you into my stuff. I leapt into her embrace and felt the happy tears running down my cheeks. After the teary reunion, we spent hours catching up with each other. It's like we're reading each other's minds. Must be the twin bond. I even invited her to my house and we had a good time. For the next couple days, I only focused on the webtoon and getting to know myself better. With Hajun's help, I now felt more comfortable and confident speaking with others. One day at the publisher, while I was having a little chit-chat break, a colleague rushed in.
Mincy, did you hear the news? Your webtoon won the first prize of Comic Award.
Comic? The most renowned award in webtoon? Oh my god, I'm dreaming, right? My hard work finally bore fruits. I was celebrating with my colleague when out of nowhere, Siwoo dragged me out.
You better announce me as the co-author. I helped you with the sketches, the script, the coloring, yada yada yada, remember?
What? You were only messing it up. Do you even know what the story is about?
Babe, don't challenge me. Or else, I would tell the director, aka my dad, to kick you out. And by the way, let's break up.
Excuse me?
You really think I like you? Oh, please. I only do it for your webtoon, babe.
Grr, that dandy jerk. I knew he was no good, but what could I do now? Later, I told Minha everything, and she was heartbroken and begged me to help her sneak into Siwoo's office. So I did. Siwoo, please don't leave me. How could I live without you?
Oh, it'll be hard, 'cause I'm irresistible. But you gotta let go, babe. You have nothing else to offer me.
I already know you don't love me, but I do love you, and I already put a love spell on you. You'll forever be haunted by me. Then, Minha fainted, crashed on the floor. Scaredy cat Siwoo was freaking out.
Hey, you're not gone, right?
Suddenly, the light turned off.
What in the Holy Spirit's going on?
The light turned on again, and the guy stopped screaming until he saw me. Hi, babe!
Ah! What are you?
You don't recognize me? It's me, Minji, in spirit form.
Stay the heck away from me.
After every despicable thing you've done to me?
Please.
Come with me, you crooked.
To where?
To the other side!
He was so scared his eyes went white. Then he fainted.
Serves you right! And let me introduce my E-Kip with Minha, who should win Oscars for that performance, and Hajun, who's behind the light effect. Didn't think of that, did you? After that, Siwoo kept insisting I was some spiritual force that haunted this place. Then eventually, he quit the job. And of course, I had the full copyright of my webtoon and was eligible to receive the Comic Award. My career has just begun as I decided to continue to work at Blackwood. Mom and Dad also decided to adopt Minha into our family, and we could finally be together. That's the magic I wanted to tell you. This unexpected event changed my life for the better. Chance doesn't come twice, right? You have to grasp it. By the way, I want to ask, do you guys have any unexpected events that changed your entire life? Tell us in the comments below. Hang on, here's one more thing I have to do for the old shy me. Hajun, I've been wanting to tell you something. The past event got me thinking, if I don't start telling you how I feel now, I might regret it later. So, Kim Hajun, I like you. So much.
Finally, it took you that long. When you were in hospital, you weren't the Minzy I knew, which freaked me out thinking what if I couldn't see the real you anymore? It's comforting that you're still here, 'cause I got a huge crush on you too.
It was my first day at Hill Ridge High, and I was buzzing. For weeks, I'd been working on a plan, and today was showtime.
Good morning, Hildrich family. Welcome back from summer break. This year is all about excellence in academics and behavior.
Crowd cheered wildly. I just stood there watching the scene unfold.
We are a family built on trust and integrity.
I almost gagged. You see, Principal Richardson knew nothing about honor or integrity. He was a liar, and everyone needed to know. Scratch that, it was my job to let everyone know. Right on cue, a red sports car screeched into the school's parking lot, and out jumped Principal Richardson's wife!
Gregory Richardson, you lying, cheating, two-faced toad!
Whose lipstick is this?
Oh, we can discuss this in private.
Without waiting for another word, Mrs. Richardson hurled the lipstick at his face. Private? Like your private meetings with your secretary? Were out and everyone was filming and laughing. Well, not everyone. The principal's daughter, Chelsea, looked like she wanted to die. Mom, Dad, please, not here! Not in front of everyone! She tried to grab her mom, but Mrs. Richardson shoved her aside and lunged for her husband, who took off running. Chelsea's face turned bright red with embarrassment under everyone's smug stares. And yes, it was all a part of my plan. But don't get me wrong, I had my reasons. I didn't do it for the clout. I did it for justice. I did it for my cousin, Riley. By the time I got home, I practically sprinted to Riley's room, like I had the winning lottery ticket. Riley, you have to see this! And then I showed Riley the video I had recorded of all the chaos that happened at school. You actually pulled it off? Yep, it was easy. All I did was expose the true face of Principal Richardson and his mistress. I secretly followed them on their date, and when they weren't looking, I slipped the secretary's lipstick into his coat pocket. You're insane! And we burst into laughter when I acted out the chaos of that wild morning for Riley. Riley, my cousin, is an angel, too kind for her own good. And because of that, people grew jealous and started bullying her. One day, a classmate pushed her so hard she ended up with a serious injury, forcing her to leave school and stay in a wheelchair for months. I couldn't just sit back. I was furious. So I transferred to Riley's school with one goal in mind: revenge. The first targets, the principal and his daughter, the student council president. According to Riley, they were the worst. Cold, careless, and completely indifferent about what happened to her. Worse, his daughter was happy about Riley's accident. She had hated Riley for a long time. Well, it's time they paid for it. The next day, Chelsea walked into class like nothing had happened. But Hildreth High had a memory like an elephant. A mean, gossipy elephant. Hey, Chelsea, is the school secretary your new stepmom?
Is it true your daddy is planning to run away with her? Your mom must be so heartbroken.
Then I saw Chelsea walk in and quietly sit all by herself in the far corner of the classroom, looking completely out of place. I thought it would make me feel satisfied. But strangely, seeing Chelsea that sad just made me feel awful. But the look on Riley's face when I told her about Chelsea today made me feel like I was doing the right thing for my cousin. I wish I had been there to see the look on her face. And did you hear? Principal Richardson resigned! And poor Chelsea, she'll probably lose her seat as the student body president. Okay, I said they deserved it, but this was starting to get out of hand. Riley, maybe we've taken this a bit too far? I didn't want to tell you this, but I went to the doctor today, and it's official. I'm never going to walk again. Oh my God, Riley, I'm so sorry. I really do want to go back to school, Sarah. Even if it's in this wheelchair, but I just can't. Oh, why not? Are you afraid of those bullies? Micah stole my diary and started mocking me for the little secrets I wrote in it. I won't be able to go back to school until I get it back. Even though I'd been at Hill Ridge for just a couple of days, I knew exactly who she was talking about. Micah was hard to miss with his skateboard, black hoodie, and permanent scowl. Micah's the guy? Alright then, I'll make sure that the bully gets on his knees and hands over that diary. I had a plan. I brought my skateboard and skated nearby, just to stage a perfectly accidental encounter. Let me tell you what desperation looks like. It looks like me, in a helmet 2 sizes too big, elbow and knee pads, and a borrowed skateboard I named Death Wish. Day 1 of Infiltrate Micah's World and Steal the Diary, I face planted. Twice. Day 2, I rolled into someone's dog. The dog was fine. My dignity, not so much. And on day 3, I became a meme when someone filmed me flipping over a trash can. Guess who was watching the entire time? Micah. Enjoying the show?
Just counting the days before you break your neck.
Ouch! Sounds like something a villain would say.
Why are you even doing this?
Well, to develop myself?
You're terrible at it.
I guess I'm not good at anything. I'm so useless. So I faked some tears for sympathy, and ta-da! He fell right into my trap.
Hey, you're not useless. You just need to work on your technique. Alright, stand on your board.
See? Worked like a charm. Hiding a smile, I did as he instructed. And then, in a move I didn't see coming, he took my hands and helped me balance on the board. And holy mother of skate wheels, he had the most beautiful eyes. No wonder the sky is gray today. All the blue went into your eyes. What? No! Who said that?
Thanks.
At that moment, I wanted to crawl into a hole and disappear. Focus, Zara! Remember the mission. Do not let his handsomeness ruin everything. Over the next few weeks, I kept falling. He kept teaching, and somehow we kept laughing. Also, the more he helped me skate, the more conflicted I felt. He was so kind. It was hard to believe he was the villain. But that diary remained a mystery, even though Riley kept urging me to find it as soon as possible. His locker at school? Nothing. His backpack? Micah guarded it like a dragon guarding treasure. Until one afternoon, everything changed. We were at our usual spot in the park when a black motorbike sped towards us and we both jumped. The car is speeding towards us!
Zara, stay behind me.
While I was still frozen in shock, Micah rushed over and jumped in front of me, shielding me from that crazy driver. The driver sped straight at us, yanked Micah's backpack so fast it threw him face first onto the pavement, then tore off at a terrifying speed. Micah! Oh no! Heart pounding, I rushed over to Micah, who was laying on the ground, not moving.
My backpack. No. The diary.
Micah, hold on! I'm calling for help! As I dialed 911, I could barely breathe. Micah really had been carrying that diary with him all along, and someone had hurt him to get to it. This was getting way out of hand. After an ambulance arrived, I helped Micah call his parents, and then I ran all the way home like the FBI was chasing me. Riley, you're not going to believe what just happened! But the second I stepped in, my words died in my throat. Riley wasn't alone. Her mom, Aunt Frida, was sitting beside her, and she looked angry. Uh-oh. Without a word, Aunt Frida handed me her phone. And when I hit play, my stomach dropped as I watched myself on screen, slipping a lipstick into Principal Richardson's jacket at the coffee shop.
You caused chaos at school and turned the principal's whole family upside down?
Riley told me she was being bullied at school, and the principal didn't care at all. You begged me to. And that's when Riley shattered my entire heart. What are you talking about? I had nothing to do with what you did. What's going on? Why would Riley say something like that? Just then, I saw something that made words evaporate. Micah's backpack, stuffed half under Riley's bed. Wait, isn't that Micah's backpack? Why do you have it? I don't know what you're talking about. That's my old backpack. It's always been there. Didn't you know that?
Stop arguing, you two! Zara, from now on, you're grounded for 2 weeks to think about your bad behavior.
I turned, stormed to my room, and paced like a caged animal. Why was Micah's backpack under Riley's bed? Could she really be behind all of this? Did she want that diary so badly that she couldn't wait any longer and actually paid someone to snatch it from him? And that secret video of me, was she the one who sent someone to follow me? But why would she do that? I have to find Riley and get the truth out of her. Over the next few days, I tried to talk to Riley, but she ignored me. All she did was sit in her room and stare out the window. It was scary, to be honest. What was she planning? At school, Micah was nowhere to be found. He was probably at home recovering, but I couldn't go see him because I was grounded. I wasn't even allowed to walk to the mailbox without supervision. Then, just when I thought it couldn't get worse, Aunt Frida dropped a bombshell.
To avoid any more trouble, you should transfer back to your old school.
But I don't want to. There was still something Riley wanted me to help with.
No need. Riley's going back to school next week. She says she can handle it on her own now, and there's no need to trouble you anymore.
Was it because Riley got her diary back? Did she not need me anymore? And want me to leave the school? My train of thought was cut short by the loud roar of a bike. And I saw the biker. What was he doing here at midnight? Probably to meet Riley for some evil mission. Making sure I was well hidden, I watched as the biker parked the bike behind a house. But when they took off their helmet, I got the shock of my life when I saw who it was. Riley's true colors made my skin crawl. The next morning, I went to Chelsea to get some answers. She told me Riley was known as the school's mean girl who collected secrets to control people. Riley had always tried to beat Chelsea for the student council president, but never succeeded. Chelsea said she had heard that Riley lost her diary while bullying a student and accidentally fell. Now everything made sense. I'd been a fool, a puppet dancing on Riley's strings, and the person she bullied? It had to be Micah. I walked into the school to find the whole school there, carrying welcome back banners while they waited for Riley to arrive. Riley rolled her wheelchair into the middle of the school lobby, then held up her diary with a triumphant smile. To the one who tried to hurt me, no worries. I'll be kind enough to leave that incident out of my precious diary. I had the perfect plan for Riley. While she was busy soaking up the fake cheers and attention, I quietly slipped into the crowd and waited for the right moment. I just want to thank everyone for welcoming me back. Being in a wheelchair is not easy, but to the person who pushed me, I want you to know that I've forgiven you. Ugh, a week ago I'd have believed every word she said, but now I wanted to scream at her. As Riley continued to give her heartfelt speech, I struck. Slowly, I tied a string around a fake spider's belly and dropped it onto Riley's thigh. The second it touched her, she shrieked. Then she jumped out of her wheelchair. You heard that right. She shot to her feet and dashed across the school lobby like she was training for the Olympics. And just like that, her diary hit the floor. And I swooped in and grabbed it. Give that back! Wow, it's a miracle. Riley walks again. It was only then that Riley finally panicked, realizing she had been exposed. But how did you know? I saw you on the bike. Riley, you've been faking an injury this entire time. That's right. Remember the mystery biker? It was Riley this entire time. She was the one I saw through the window that night. So what? Give me the diary. Now. Now that I have it, I'm going to destroy it so no one can ever use what's written in here to hurt others again. And then, right in front of Riley's horrified eyes and everyone's shocked faces, I tore the diary to pieces. I run the school. Everyone does what I say. As Riley sat there in misery, everyone else quietly walked away, relieved. Suddenly, a realization struck Riley. No, that's not it. I still have the coffee shop video. I knew you'd find a way to use it against me, so I've already written an apology letter to Mr. Richardson. Actually, don't worry, Zara. I've known about my dad's affair for years. What you did helped my mom finally wake up and let go. No! I'm telling my mom! You won't get away with this! With complete indifference, I walked out of school. I thought to myself, if Riley tattled, Aunt Frida would probably ground her for sure. There was still one person I needed to see. Without a word, I went straight to our old spot. The moment Micah saw me, he lit up with a bright smile. Hey, Micah, I'm really sorry for using you, for being manipulated by Riley, and for all the hurt I caused you and everyone else. And so I filled him in on everything. And you should have seen his face when I revealed that the biker was Riley.
I knew Riley was behind it all, but I didn't expect her to be so reckless.
I'm really sorry. Suddenly, Micah stepped closer to me. His shadow merged with mine as he gently took my hand and smiled warmly. That tender gaze moved me deeply. And though he said nothing, I knew in his heart he had forgiven me. From that day on, we grew closer than ever. We went to school together, skated side by side, and talked endlessly about everything under the sun. It felt like our souls were in sync, drawn together like two opposite magnets that couldn't help but connect.
Hi, I'm Addison, but all my friends call me Addie. I'm just an ordinary girl who doesn't have any particular talents, but there is one thing I do have. That is... Oh, why don't we just watch the video to see what it is? This is my older sister, Olivia. She's beautiful, isn't she? She's also an amazing singer and has a talent for art. She can pretty much draw anything. I mean, I don't know how my parents could have such a perfect daughter like her, then have me. But I'm fine with that. Olivia was all about winning trophies and medals, while I was happy with the ice cream and ton of snacks my parents gave me for getting a B on my math exam. Hey, Addie, my baby. Guess who's got some new trendy clothes? Oh, Mom, Dad, I don't like these things. Why are you buying so much? It's such a waste of money. However, Mom's desperate look made me cave, so I reluctantly grabbed a random item and went to try it on. Oh, it's a crop top. I stared at myself in the mirror. Okay, so my parents' dumbfounded expressions made their feelings pretty clear. I looked ridiculous. See, I told you already. I'm way too short to wear tops like this. Right at that moment, Olivia walked by. I immediately ran over to her. I think you should have this top. It'll bring out your nice figure. You'll look so cute in it. Mom shook her head. No, if Olivia wears this, everyone will see her navel. Isn't that the point of crop tops? Then Dad chimed in.
Anyway, Liv, where are you off to in such a hurry? It's not that nonsense model club again, is it?
Speaking of clubs, is the school dance club still recruiting? You should join. You'll get in for sure. My sister rolled her eyes, then left, slamming the door behind her. I loved my sister, but she just seems to find me annoying. She was like the ice queen, always shutting me out. She never allows me to borrow her clothes or to touch her stuff, and if I ever try to go into her room, she freaks out. It's not that she's mean as such, but she tends to act like I don't even exist. It's okay. I mean, I'm kinda used to it. I live my own life and she lives hers. So that's why when I got my first cell phone and started to use social networks, I didn't try to search for her profiles, though I knew she was on all those platforms. That evening, my mom asked me to go upstairs to call Olivia for dinner. No answer. So I began pushing the door open. She suddenly appeared from the bathroom and yelled, "Hey, what are you doing? You know you're not allowed in my room." I knocked, but you didn't answer. Mom says it's dinner time. She hissed at me and shooed me away. Ugh, why did she have to treat me like I was some pest? The way she was so weird about her room was annoying. Maybe she was hiding something in there? Nah, probably I was just overthinking this. Olivia was always like this. Life went on, and my sister, well, she continued to distance herself from me. But then one weekend, I walked downstairs to find her cheerfully humming a song as she danced around the kitchen. When she saw me, she smiled and said, "Morning, sis. Come sit here. I made you breakfast." Okay, this was weird. I cautiously sat down and kept looking at her. Why are you so happy? And where are Mom and Dad?
Mom and Dad just rushed off on some work thing.
Then she put the plate in front of me, grinned, then continued.
Mom made cookies this morning and told you to take them to Grandma's. Tell her I said hi.
Oh, you're not coming with me?
No can do. Sorry, I've got work to do.
She continued to look at me, and I got the feeling she wanted me to hurry up. Before I'd even finished my toast, she passed me my jacket and bundled me out of the door. Having no choice, I made my way to Granny's while in deep thoughts about how odd this was. Until I realized that I didn't even have the cookie bag with me. I'd left it at home. Gosh! I immediately rushed back. But, why was there a strange car parked outside my house? I lingered back and watched as a middle-aged man got out of the car. Before he even got to the door, Olivia opened it and smiled at him. I dove behind a bush so I could carry on watching. Huh? Why was he handing her flowers and a gift box? She happily took them from him and even leaned into his ear and said something. Oh my God! So this explains my sister's strange behavior. They're a couple, aren't they? I never thought that my sister would be interested in an old man like this. Shocking. But wait, what if he's deceiving her? As Olivia may look sharp, but she's actually very innocent. If that was the case, I would beat him black and blue. But this was just my speculation. I can't hastily act without knowing the truth. So I decided not to let them know that I was there, and quietly entered the house through the back door to get the cookie bag. Later that day when I arrived home, my sister was back to her ice queen self. She was cooking in silence, so I told her Grandma said hi, and she just grunted, then carried on stirring her soup. I needed to find out what was actually going on. The perfect opportunity arose a few weeks later, when Mom and Dad went away on a weekend trip. I told Olivia I was meeting some friends for a picnic, but this was a lie. I actually hid in my faithful hiding spot and watched. As expected, the old man showed up and Olivia let him inside. The door was ajar, so I tiptoed inside and heard them laughing in the living room. I peeked in, and to my astonishment, my sister was sitting on the couch wearing the weirdest outfit ever. It was those kinds of clothes that only catwalk models wear, and most of all, she had this heavy makeup on and looked like a totally different person. The strange man was sitting next to her. Both of them were looking at her phone and laughing happily. Oh gosh, now everything was clear. From her reserved nature to her seemed-to-be secret room, it was all so she could continue to hide this age difference love story. I didn't know how to react now. I just kind of felt bad for her because she had to hide it. I mean, this was her home, and we were her family. We might not have been close, but she was my big sister, and I wanted her to be happy. If this love was real, then I fully supported her. And if this guy turned out to be bad, well, then I'd protect her to the end. My parents returned that evening, so I set up a family movie night. A great idea for family bonding, right? I chose a romantic movie in which the main actress is much younger than her boyfriend. In the middle of the movie, I turned to my parents and asked, "Mom, Dad, if you were their parents, would you allow that relationship?" They gave me confused looks. Then Dad immediately asked,
Hey, Addie, don't tell us that you're in love with an old man, huh?
This startled me, but before I could say anything, the doorbell rang. I was about to go open the door, just to avoid answering Dad's question, but Olivia was faster. Not long after that, she turned back and shouted at me.
Addie, how dare you touch my phone? What's up, Liv?
Who's at the door? Go ask your dear daughter Addison. She gave me a dirty look, then stormed up to her room. My parents immediately bombarded me with loads of questions. What's happening here? Who was the one ringing the bell? Why that manner of Olivia? Okay, the one who rang the bell was Olivia's boyfriend. So, earlier, when Olivia left her phone in the kitchen, I noticed that there was a message from a man named Henry Davis. I immediately searched for him on Facebook and found out that this was the same guy who'd been visiting her. So, I used her phone to text him, telling him to come around at 8 p.m. I thought it would be better if Olivia could make her relationship public with our parents. But, Hayes, it seems she didn't take it very well. Anyway, now I had no choice but to tell my parents everything. Their faces dropped, and without saying anything, they ran upstairs and banged on Olivia's door. But there was no reply. Instead, all of us heard a rattling sound from the back door, and Olivia had fled. Our parents' faces turned red, while I felt so guilty as I not only wasn't able to help her, but only worsened the situation. The next day, Olivia still hadn't returned. She also didn't show up for school, which caused my parents to freak out. Then I suddenly thought of Henry. Right, why didn't I think of asking him from the beginning? So I immediately contacted Henry and asked him to help find Olivia. That afternoon, when I just got home from school, I saw Henry driving off. There was a note stuck to the door saying Olivia was fine, with an address below, and it also said if we come there at 9 a.m., we'll see Olivia. The next morning, we showed up earlier than scheduled. Huh? It was a studio, and just like Henry said, Olivia was there. She looked so glamorous and was so busy prepping for a photo shoot that she didn't seem to notice us. Henry welcomed us and started explaining everything that made my parents, as well as me, speechless. Turns out, the truth was far from what I thought. He was not her boyfriend. Instead, he's her manager. He saw Olivia's potential and guided her to become a photo model and a TikToker. The flowers and gifts were from the brand she was working with. And the other day, she wore that outfit and makeup for a TikTok video. After the shoot was over, we walked over to her. But she took one look at us and ran away. I managed to catch up with her, then said, "Sis, why didn't you just tell us the truth? We're your family. We'll always be on your side." On my side? Really? You have no idea what it's like to be an outsider. It doesn't matter how many competitions I win. I'm invisible, while you get praised for just getting an okay grade on a math test. I want to be a model, but they don't want that for me. They want me to be miserable. I'd rather leave that house to do what I love. I was dumbfounded, and so were Mom and Dad, who by this point had caught up with us and heard everything she'd just said. Dad hugged Olivia, then in an emotional voice said,
Olivia, it's not that we forbid you from doing what you want. We were just worried for you. We just know that this industry can be complicated, and we don't want you to get hurt. That's right. And it's not true that we love Addie more than you. You just excel at everything, and we just didn't want Addie to feel insecure. We're really sorry, Olivia. We all love you.
Oh no, Mom, don't worry. I never felt that way. Actually, I've always admired Olivia, and it made me sad when she ignored me. Olivia burst out crying, and our whole family hugged each other tightly.
Sorry to interrupt, but you must have had some idea about Olivia being an internet star already, right? I mean, it's easy to tell from her social networks.
I shyly said, I don't follow any of her accounts. I thought she just wanted me out of her way. Henry then patted my head and showed us Olivia's social media accounts. And wow, she had millions of views and followers. We all watched some of her TikTok videos together, and she totally rocked it. Seeing how much this meant to her, my parents came round to the idea of her being a model, and they even thanked Henry for helping her. Then Olivia came closer to me.
Hey, Addie. I'm sorry for being so cold in the past. Turns out, you love me so much and will support me regardless. At least now, if I really fall in love with an old man, I don't have to worry, right?
Then everyone laughed. Oh, even though my plan didn't, well, go exactly as intended, I still call it a success, because it all ended out great in the end. You thought it was all finished, huh? Nope, not yet. There's one more thing I want to show you guys. That night, for the first time, Olivia let me go inside her room. Wow, it was like a mini studio with expensive flashlights, a ring light, and a camera. And her clothes and makeup collection were super impressive. Oh, do you remember what I said at the beginning of the video about being an ordinary girl? Well, that hasn't changed. But now I can confidently say that there is one thing I do have, and that's an awesome big sister who loves me unconditionally.
So everyone loves Christmas, right? Trust me.
It's not so great when your boss fires you in November. How was I supposed to buy presents now? Still, I tried to see the positives. I hated that boring, underpaid, overworked job anyway. My ex-boss Adrian was the worst. He's a crazy perfectionist who always gave me ridiculous deadlines, complained about every tiniest mistake, and flipped out if things didn't go his way. No wonder he was still single at 32. Who could ever stand him? I wouldn't miss him, or my tragic ass-kissing coworkers. Anyways, on the bright side, I get to spend the entire holiday season with my family and my boyfriend Matt in peace, without being bothered by any annoying work emails. I, in fact, have invited Matt over for Thanksgiving dinner with my parents and plan to spend this cozy weekend with my loved ones. Then, the day before Thanksgiving, I packed up my car and was about to go and pick Matt up when my phone beeped.
Sonia, I don't think Thanksgiving is a good idea. I just think we need some time apart. Hope you have a great time. See you around, X.
What? Had he just broken up with me over text message? I immediately rang him up, but he turned his phone off. Just great. Here I was stuck at home for the entire Thanksgiving and Christmas period, being a jobless, boyfriendless loser. To make it worse, even my little sister Gina had a boyfriend who adored her. This is so unfair. One night, my parents were out to buy a Christmas tree, and Gina had her boyfriend over to help put up Christmas lights and decorations. Well, needless to say, love was in the air, and that festive vibe didn't help at all with my misery. So I refused to join them and curled up in my room. Feeling so lonely and miserable, I downloaded Tinder. I usually wasn't one for dating apps, but I was feeling so low, I would have happily spoken to anyone. I didn't feel like being me. I was sick of being me, so I used the fake name Crystal and just put some artsy scenery pictures up. I could be whoever I wanted to be. And you know what? It seemed to be working, as a few guys wanted to talk to me. Okay, most of them were also bored, or only after one thing, but then there's this guy called Carl that caught my attention. Like me, he had no pictures of himself, but instead, he had images of song lyrics and movie quotes, including the quote, "The more you know who you are and what you want, the less you let things upset you." I love the movie Lost in Translation, so I sent him a message telling him he had good taste in films, and he messaged me back complimenting the scenery photos I took. After that, we started chatting days and nights. We talked about everything, from the dumb to the meaningful. He actually helped me out a lot, and made the Christmas period bearable for me. It was all going great, until Christmas Eve. He sent me a message to wish me a Merry Christmas, along with,
"Let's meet up for a drink."
Oh no. Even though the app said he was only a few miles away, I wasn't ready for meetups. I actually was nervous upon reading his text. My heart was pounding, and I found myself worrying about what he would think of me when we met. What if he didn't look like what I imagined? What if he'd be disappointed when he saw me? What does that even matter, though? Unless I developed feelings for him. I don't even know anymore. But it's certain that I couldn't face him just yet. I politely refused his invitation. He was cool about it. Then we still continued to talk like normal. I survived Christmas, and then for New Year's Eve, Gina persuaded me to go to a party with her boyfriend and friends. I wasn't really keen to join, but I guessed I needed to do something to stop this gloominess. As I was walking in, I was so busy brushing off the snow on my shoulder that I bumped into a guy. To my horror, I looked up and saw that it was my old boss, Adrian. Why was he here, in my hometown? He was also shocked, but managed to smile at me. But I just gave him a glare, rolled my eyes, flipped back my hair, then strode off. What a mood killer! I grabbed a drink and sat in the corner in an attempt to avoid bumping into Adrian again. Gina found me and tried dragging me onto the dance floor, but I refused. Then she winked at me and in a tipsy voice said, "You need a man to dance with. I'll be right back." 5 minutes later, she excitedly waved at me and shouted over, "Found one!" I just want to facepalm as I saw her dragging Adrian by the hand over to me. Talk about awkward. But still, I mumbled out a hi, downed a shot for courage, and then chatted to him. Okay, it turns out he was visiting his grandparents who lived around here, and he was actually an okay guy to talk to. After I spent most of the night talking to him, he bought a drink, then said to me,
"I have to admit that after the death stare you gave me on entry, I was afraid for my life. But it turns out I've enjoyed chatting with you."
"Sorry," I blushed.
"No, it's okay. I'd be mad with me too if I were you. Letting you go from work was nothing personal. I had to let one person go, and I only chose you because I knew you were wasted there."
Thanks, I guess," I laughed. "Let's get another shot." Okay, so maybe Adrian wasn't that bad of a person after all. And I don't know if it's because of all the drinks we downed, the atmosphere, or the fact that everyone else around us was sharing New Year's kisses, that I almost felt like Adrian looked like he wanted to kiss me on the strike of midnight too. And I too didn't dodge it. Luckily, nothing happened. I mean, that would have been weird, right? The next day, Adrian messaged me, saying he would help me set up a job interview at a big media company. Wow, that's amazing! Now I had no excuse to sulk around anymore. I needed to get back to the city and sort my life out. Only, I still couldn't get Carl out of my head. I guessed these feelings were real. To clear up my mind, I decided to confess to him online. But then he messaged me back saying,
I think you're great, and I love talking to you, but I have a crush on my coworker. I'm sorry, but I'd like to stay friends.
Ouch! Rejection hurt! Back in the city, I felt lonelier than ever. Yes, I'd got the new job and it was going well, but I was sick of seeing loved-up couples everywhere. To make it worse, Gina came to stay with me for a while, and she's always on the phone, giggling and FaceTiming her boyfriend. Now I couldn't even escape lovebirds in my own apartment. Feeling down, I messaged Carl again, just casually asked him to meet up later this weekend when I would be back home again for my mom's birthday. Well, to be honest, I just couldn't give him up just yet. Maybe he would change his mind when we met, or I would be able to get over him once we meet. But he made up some excuse to reject me again. That was it, I told myself. It's official over now. Depressed, I called Adrian up for a drink. He arrived looking kinda cute, but the sting of rejection was still on my mind. I confided to Adrian, and I asked him if he thought Carl was a fool for turning me down. Adrian slammed his drink onto the table and turned to me and said,
You're the fool. Why are you stupidly chasing after some guy online? He might not even be real. He might be some 60-year-old pervert. Why won't you just open your eyes and look in front of you?
Then he stood up, locked me in his arms, and tried to kiss me. What? I was so mad I pulled myself away from him and slapped him straight across the face before I stomped off. He was meant to be my friend, not some guy after just one thing. I was so hurt, I cried while texting Carl about what just happened, but he didn't reply. The next day, I woke up with a pounding head and puffy eyes. I checked my phone. Adrian had called me, but nothing from Carl. He must have been too busy with his coworker, huh? Suddenly, I heard the door knock. My sister answered it and told me it was Adrian. I reluctantly went out to see him. I guess I needed to at least hear him out. He was standing there looking sheepish as he said,
I'm so sorry about last night, Sonia. I was slightly drunk, and I guess I've read the signals wrong. For what it's worth, I think that Carl guy is a fool for letting you go. You're amazing.
I wasn't in the mood to talk to him, so said it was fine, then told him to leave. I closed the door and threw myself on the sofa. Then about 10 minutes later, there was someone at the door again. I answered it, and there was Adrian, but this time, he changed his outfit. Confused, I grumbled, What else do you want? Then, he politely greeted me.
Hello, Crystal. Let me introduce myself. I'm Carl. We've been talking for months. I guess, if you think about it, the more you know who you are and what you want, the less you let things upset you.
I stared at him open-mouthed. He just quoted Lost in Translation, and he'd called me Crystal. Then reality struck me. OMG! All this time, and Adrian was Carl? I dragged him inside. We sat down on the sofa and talked everything out. It's so unreal. Turns out the guy I've been chasing after is literally right in front of me. How ironic. I was so happy I hugged him and broke down crying, apologizing. Right then, my sister walked out from the kitchen, took one look at us, and laughed out, Well. Isn't this the awful boss who fired you? But most importantly, isn't he the guy I brought to you at the New Year's Eve party? You two owe me big time. We all burst out laughing. So, yeah, after a horrid holiday season, now I finally could start a promising new year with a great job and a pretty awesome new boyfriend. I guess things always have a way of working out in the end, right? Thank you for listening to my story, and wish you guys a good start into the new year.
Hey, I'm Duncan, but my friends all call me Dunk. I was so excited about finally leaving home and experiencing all the freedom and fun of college. I got lucky with my roommate, as Andy's a great guy. We have similar taste in music, so we spent our time going to concerts. Because of his popularity, he received invites to all the best parties, and I got to tag along. As amazing as being Andy's friend was, it also had its problems. You see, Andy's a handsome guy, and the girls couldn't resist his chiseled jawline and muscly physique. I wasn't exactly ugly or anything, but next to him, I felt mediocre at best. He was basically a girl magnet, and I became invisible to them. To be honest, I found myself secretly jealous of him, and this made me take a step back from the parties and the concerts. Even though I was obviously making excuses not to hang out with him, Andy remained nice to me. Some of his admirers gifted him chocolate and candies. Andy's probably the only person I know who doesn't like sweets, so he gave them all to me. Jackpot! I suppose that with time and lots of sweets, I began to mellow down. Andy was a great guy, and it wasn't his fault that he was a stud, so it wasn't fair to punish him for this. Things went back to normal, and I took my place as Andy's average-looking sidekick. Then I met Rosie. She's cute, funny, and super sweet. It wasn't long before I developed the biggest crush on her. The problem was, she was pretty much in love with Andy. Rosie was always showing up with gifts for him and going out of her way to flirt with him at parties, but he remained uninterested in her. One time at a party, I saw her sitting alone outside. She looked upset for some reason, so I gave her a drink and tried to cheer her up. She went on about how much she loved Andy. Then she looked at me with wide eyes and begged me to help her get to know him better. This sucked, but I couldn't exactly tell Rosie how much I liked her. At least helping her out meant I'd get to spend more time with her. Rosie and I began to hang out more, and in turn, Andy hung out with us too. I don't think Rosie liked the concerts we went to, but her face lit up every time Andy rubbed shoulders with her or shot her a smile. It was a weird dynamic, but it worked. At least until the evening Rosie drunkenly confessed her love to Andy. He turned her down, and after that, things were super awkward between them. Not long after that, Andy started dating this girl called Belinda. This upset Rosie, but she tried not to show it. The four of us went out for a seriously awkward dinner together, so we can meet her properly. I couldn't stop staring at Rosie, as she was in this sexy lace dress, but she only looked at Andy, as if he's the only one in this room. Andy and Belinda went home after that, but Rosie dragged me to a bar and forced me to drink shots. Then she cried on my shoulder about how much she loved Andy and how Belinda was no good for him. It was weird, as a part of me was glad to be close with Rosie, but it was also hard comforting her, when all she did was go on about my best friend. Belinda always bought Andy loads of chocolate bars, and he'd always chuck them over at me. Once I asked him, if you don't like them, then why don't you tell her? He stuttered a little. Nah, it's no big deal. Besides, I've got you to eat them for me. Belinda didn't come over all that much. In fact, Andy didn't seem to spend all that much time with her at all. This didn't go unnoticed by Rosie, who thought their relationship was kinda strange. Andy had saved Belinda's phone number as just her name, nothing cute. Also, when they walked around campus, they stayed kinda apart, at least until anyone they knew saw them. Then they immediately cozied up to each other. Rosie got it into her head that their relationship was fake, and that he was only doing it to make her jealous. I wasn't sure if I believed this or not, but I guess it kinda made sense. I expected Andy and Belinda to break up, only they didn't. By the end of college, they were still together, much to Rosie's annoyance. Meanwhile, Rosie dated a few guys, but it all ended in bad breakups, and it was always me who was there to console her. Once she got upset and drank too much, then blurted out how she must be an awfully ugly person. I laughed and told her that was crazy, as she had no idea just how beautiful she was. She moved in closer to me, and for a few seconds, I actually thought she was going to kiss me. But then she turned her head away and said, Dunk, you're the sweetest guy. Maybe if we're both single after graduation, then we could date. I just forced a smile. I didn't take what she said seriously, as she was very drunk. She probably wouldn't even remember saying it. She passed out and I had to carry her home, where I had to explain to 3 separate groups of people that she was my friend and I wasn't trying to assault her. After that, I tried to keep my distance from her. My heart just couldn't take it anymore. At our farewell graduation party, Rosie came and said her goodbyes to me. Before she left, she kissed me on the cheek and said, "Looks like we're both single. Call me sometime." Then she winked at me. So it turns out she did remember what she said to me. And she meant it. On our last day in our place, Andy chucked me a chocolate bar. I jokingly told him, "You need to start to learn to eat it because from tomorrow, I won't be here to help you." He let out a thoughtful sigh, then sat down. "Actually, I do love sweets, but I gave them to you because you love them, and I love you, and I have done ever since we first met. I tried to push the feelings away, but it didn't seem to work. I know you like Rosie. That's why I faked the relationship so that you'd have a chance with her. I'm sorry for dropping this bomb on you, but I needed to get it off my chest before we left." I stared at him with a confused look on my face. At first I thought he was joking, but then I realized he was being deadly serious. All this time and I had no idea how he really felt. So now both Rosie and Andy like me. What's going on? I feel so conflicted, so I haven't contacted either of them yet. The problem is I can't stop thinking about Andy. I'm missing him far more than Rosie. Could I be bisexual? I've never doubted my sexuality before, but this has got me all confused. Please help me out, as I don't know what to do next.
It was a normal Monday morning. I was standing by my locker when this Layla girl walked over. leaned against the locker next to mine, and talked to me in this sultry voice. "Hi, handsome. Do you have any plans after school?" I looked around in confusion. Huh? Was she talking to me? Usually girls like Layla didn't talk to guys like me. I mean, come on, look at her. She's the hottest girl in school. While I'm Felix, just your average-looking nerdy guy. I awkwardly replied, "Oh, hi, I'm just doing my homework after school. Bye." Then I left her there, dumbfounded. But it didn't end there. At the end of school, she approached me again and asked, "Do you want to hang out with me?" Followed by a wink. No thanks, I really have to finish my paper on the French Revolution." Then I walked off. Man, did she really want to hang out with me? No way. She must have lost a bet or something. Even on the next day, Layla, one more time, made a beeline for me with this scary, determined look on her face while I was chatting with my friends. And in a serious tone, she said, "Look, Felix, do you want to be my boyfriend?" What? All my friends started to cheer. I was so embarrassed that I shooed them away to get some privacy with Layla. I'm flattered, but no." She scowled at me. "Excuse me? Do you realize that I'm Layla Hull, the prettiest and most popular girl in this entire school? Not to mention a member of the cheerleading team?" Ugh, cheerleaders are so dramatic. I calmly replied, "Sorry, but you're just not my type." She shouted back, "What? I'm everybody's type!" I just shrugged and left. My God, that was awkward. But at least she got the hint now, right? Well, wrong, because that's when the trouble just began. Firstly, it was this flood of junk emails and newsletters. Then strange phone calls from the spa and nail salon, asking if I had made an appointment for the day, which I obviously didn't. On top of that, there's a fake Facebook account that started spreading unflattering pictures of me around, picking my nose in French class, pulling this weird tongue-out concentration face as I checked over my essay. There was even a slow-mo clip of me chewing like a camel as I enjoyed my burger. Man, I was an ugly eater. While I was scrolling through these pics, Layla jumped out at me with a big smirk on her face. "Be my boyfriend, then the pranks will stop." Right, of course it was her. Didn't she have better things to do? I shook my head and said, "No thanks. This still beats being with an annoying girl like you." Then a few days later, as I walked into school, I noticed that everyone was giving me dirty looks. Was my shirt inside out or something? Nope. So what was the problem? I asked some of my friends and, geez, Layla told everyone that I kissed her, then ghosted her. She's a real-life Harley Quinn. Hot, but totally crazy. Only a lunatic like the Joker could love her. I'd had enough of her antics. I couldn't let her make me look like the bad guy for something I didn't do. So at lunch, I charged over to her table and yelled in her face, "Are you crazy? Why can't you understand that I don't like you?" Then I shouted so everyone could hear me, "Hey, listen, this rumor about me kissing and ghosting Layla is a total lie. She made it all up because I refused to date her. So please, save your dirty looks for someone else. Thank you." Layla shoved past me and ran out of there. Ugh, okay, maybe I was a little harsh. But you'd brought it on yourself, princess. Then during French class, she was absent, but no one knew where she went. Was it maybe because of me? Nah, probably not. But as I was walking home, I spotted her sitting alone on a swing in the playground. Just go, Felix. This girl only brings trouble, I thought to myself. But oh man, she looked so sad. So the next thing I knew, I was walking over and sat on the swing next to her. I asked, "Why weren't you in French class?" "Just leave me alone. Stop pretending you care." "Look," I took a deep breath, then continued. "I'm sorry for yelling at you in front of the whole school. That wasn't cool. But what you did to me wasn't cool either. Shall we call it even?" Layla stayed quiet for a bit, but then she nodded and smiled at me. Well, that wasn't so bad, right? So from then onward, everything was fine between us. She even smiled at me in the hallway. Whenever I saw Layla, this warm feeling came over me, and I couldn't stop grinning. Once, I even spent my entire lunch break trapezing around school just so I could catch a glimpse of her face. Oh boy, I think I've fallen for Layla. But why now? I tried to ignore these feelings, hoping they'd eventually go away. But then Valentine's Day came along, and Layla, being the popular girl she is, received enough roses to open a florist. Ugh, how annoying. I needed to do something. So after school, I went to her house with some chocolates and a teddy bear. As soon as she opened the door, I blurted out, "I know I'm a big dumb idiot. Rejecting you was a huge mistake. Please, will you be my Valentine?" I stood there red-faced and prepared for rejection. But she just snatched the gift out of my hands, then said, "Yeah, okay then." Oh my God, I couldn't believe it. Me, your regular nerdy guy, was dating the most popular girl in school. Love is really unpredictable. I was amazed at how open she was to my nerdy stuff. She even watched The Mandalorian with me and cooed whenever she saw Baby Yoda. But the one thing that didn't gel so well between us was, yep, you guessed it, studying. Layla didn't seem to care about her grades, and I didn't want her to fail, so I offered to be her tutor. But she was constantly yawning and staring out of the window whenever we started studying. "Felix, I have an idea. Why don't you do my homework for me? In the meantime, I can go to cheerleading practice as we have an important contest coming up, and it means the world to me, just like your math quizzes do to you." What? Was she serious? My God, I hated cheating like this. But she gave me that puppy-eyed look, and me being the sucker I am, I agreed. "Thanks, Felix, you're the best." She kissed me on the cheek, then immediately passed me a huge pile of homework. I asked her why she had so much, and she explained that because she didn't understand it, she let them pile up. But hold on, why did she have Spanish? She was in French class with me, not Spanish. But she just shrugged and said her parents forced her to study it outside of school. Oh, my poor little pumpkin. One day, like usual, I stopped by her place to pick up her homework, but she wasn't home. That was odd. Today wasn't cheerleading practice, so where could she be? I looked through the stack that she asked her mom to give me and saw some Spanish worksheets. So I said to her mom, "Oh, she must be in her Spanish lesson, right?" Her mom looked a bit confused, then laughed. "You know Layla, she's far too stubborn to agree to extra classes." Huh? So the papers weren't hers? Then whose it was? And why? Suddenly I felt this uncomfortable feeling itching under my skin. I decided to confront her later at school. Then the next day I was walking through the hallway looking for Layla when I suddenly heard some guys cheering, something about getting an A in Spanish. Wait a minute, did he say Spanish? I turned to see who it was, and to my shock it was Hector, the captain of the soccer team. Hector was popular for being all handsome and everything, but also for sucking at school. Someone must have done his homework for him, and you guessed it, yeah, this someone was me. Ah, it all made sense now. Layla and Hector must be a couple. They may have been hot stuff, but they both sucked at studying. So she was using me to do both of their homework. It all made much more sense now. None of this relationship was real. It was all just an act. And no way was I letting them get away with this. I had a perfect plan to expose them. During lunch, I sat down at the table closest to Hector. Then I went into lovey-dovey overload with Layla. I fed her cheese fries, then I stroked her hair and loudly told her how soft it was. I quickly glanced over at Hector for his reaction, but nothing. He seemed more interested in her burger than her. Layla raised an eyebrow at me. Are you okay? You're acting really weird." I laughed loudly, then placed my arms around her, then said, it was actually more like shouting, "Oh, because you're so cute!" But why was there still no reaction from Hector? He and his friends even cheered, and on his way out of the canteen, he gave me a thumbs up. Layla didn't look fazed at all either. Man, somebody call the academy, because these two deserved an Oscar. My plan was a massive fail. Ugh, this was so frustrating. I fell silent, and Layla noticed and gave me this quizzing look. "Something is definitely off. You're being really strange." Okay, if she wanted to know, then fine. So I blurted out, "I know that the Spanish papers belong to Hector. You're together, and you're just using me to do all your homework. I'm not stupid, you know. Nice meeting you, but please don't ever talk to me again." Then I left without saying a word. Well, that's the end of my story. A rather sad one, right? I would be lying if I said I wasn't feeling down about it. I truly do love her. Whatever. I'm going to college in a few months, and I'll get to meet a cute, geeky girl who won't trick me into doing some other dude's homework. Sorry guys, someone's calling me. My God, it's Layla. What does she want? "We're done. Stop calling." What? Fine. Promise you'll leave me alone after this? Okay, wait, I'm coming downstairs. Oh my God. Layla's at my front door and she insists to not leave unless I have a talk with her. Ugh. Don't move, everyone. I'll tell you every detail as soon as I'm back. Jesus, guys, you won't believe what Layla's just told me. The thing is that her cheerleading team had to practice a lot for upcoming contests, which means they couldn't study as much. Therefore, they had to find someone who was willing to do their homework so their grades wouldn't slip. That's when Layla came up with the plan to win me over as her boyfriend. The flirting, the pranks, they were all part of her plan. That was the truth. But Layla didn't know about the Spanish worksheets because her teammate Harper gave them to her. Turns out Hector is Harper's boyfriend. Didn't see that coming, right? But I was still super mad at Layla because she still used me. Then Layla took out some papers and showed them to me. It was homework with all B's on them. Then she told me, "Okay, I admit that at first I didn't like you. I only approached you to take advantage of you. But then I actually fell for you as I got to know you better, okay? So I stopped giving you my homework and did it on my own." So, her feelings for me were real too? I couldn't believe it. Eventually, I forgave her, and now we're happier than ever. I must say, when Layla first talked to me, I thought she was this crazy girl like Harley Quinn, who I could never like. But I was wrong. Turns out I'm the one who's crazy about her. So, I guess I have more in common with the Joker than I first thought.
I shoved the classroom door open, and every eye turned to me. It was just another day in Lexiville. Messy bun, grease on my overalls, and, oh yeah, a wrench chose that moment to fall out of my backpack. Wow, what's this look? Grease-stained chic or forget to shower fabulous? Aw, Savannah, are you just mean or begging for attention? At least I don't smell like motor oil. At least I don't smell like attention-seeking. Savannah Lang, head cheerleader, lip gloss queen, and my personal migraine. And in just a few weeks, we'd be living under the same roof. Ugh. And, my name's Lexi Rivera. Welcome to the disaster before the storm. My mom passed away when I was 4, and just like that, Dad became my whole world. He owned an auto repair shop, and as I grew up, I watched him repair all sorts of cars. Naturally, I became his little apprentice, and it was all going great until one afternoon, I found Dad crying next to Mom's beat-up car. Dad, what's wrong?
I miss your mother so much, Lex. And this car reminds me of her. But now it's all broken.
Dad looked so heartbroken, and seeing him like that made me miss Mom even more. I hugged him tightly and made a silent promise to myself. I'd fix the car for him and for her. Since then, I worked on the car every day, and before I knew it, 3 years had gone by. When I wasn't surviving high school, I was elbows deep in that car. There was only one problem. The car still wasn't fixed. Nothing was working. Ugh! Why won't you work? Just then, someone grabbed me. I turned to see a guy about my age, effortlessly cool and charming. He pointed at a beat-up bike nearby, said he needed it fixed. I was mortified he'd caught my little meltdown. But instead of laughing, he looked past me at the car, eyes widening.
Is this a 1965 Ford Mustang Fastback? Wow, she's a beast.
You know your cars. I'm Lexi.
Asher.
And just like that, I met a boy. After that day, Asher started dropping by more. Said he was checking on the Mustang, but never seemed in a hurry to leave. He couldn't tell a carburetor from a toaster, but he always tried to help, which made the work feel lighter. And honestly, he was kind of adorable. But just when everything felt right, life flipped the script. One afternoon, a fancy little Porsche rolled up to the shop, and out stepped a woman who looked way too polished for our side of town. But the second Dad laid eyes on her, it was like his brain short-circuited.
Angel. Welcome to my auto heart. Shop.
I mentally facepalmed. Did he just flirt? Then Dad leaned his elbow in the air and almost crashed to the floor. Dad, you good? Pull it together, man.
I love it when a man fumbles all over me.
I tried not to cringe. Fumbles? Seriously? Calm down, ma'am.
Anyway, my baby is making weird noises.
Your baby?
Yeah, it's like brr, glunk, chink when I start it, and then ree when going over 40, but like angrier? Can you fix it? Yes, of course. I'll check it out. Miss Madison. Want something to drink?
Huh? The only thing we had to drink at the shop was tap water and sweat. Worse yet, he kept flirting with her the whole time. Then he asked for her number. I wanted to scream or gag. Maybe both. And what I thought was a one-time thing turned into a date. Then two. And before I knew it, Madison and Dad were acting like some rom-com couple. Ugh, spare me. For years, it had just been me, Dad, and Mom's car. That was our little world, and I felt enough. So watching him suddenly trip over his own feet for someone like Madison, it didn't sit right with me. I told myself to be open-minded. Maybe she was just flashy. But nope, should have trusted my first instinct. Madison planned a family dinner one evening. I didn't care. Whatever I was already wearing, no makeup, no effort. I was only there because Dad asked. After a few minutes, Madison walked in with someone who looked very familiar. But then I realized it was none other than Savannah Lang.
Everyone, meet Savannah, my daughter.
Wait, what? And I know what you're thinking. Savannah can't be that bad to me. Wrong! Savannah made my school life a daily nightmare. One time, she accidentally sprayed me head to toe with her $400 perfume in the hallway. Said I smelled like a locker. I spent the whole day reeking of vanilla trauma. Then she printed out a fake photo of me kissing a wrench, taped it on my locker, and titled it, "Most likely to take a wrench to prom. #tool date." She also made sure the whole school saw it before I even got there. And when I got an A in science, she claimed I was dating the carburetor. Okay, that one was low-key funny. But still, you get the point. And as if the Savannah surprise wasn't enough, Madison dropped another bomb.
Savvy, meet the love of my life. We're getting married.
What? Did she just say married? They had been seeing each other for, 2 weeks? Then everything hit me at once. If Dad married Madison, that would make Savannah my stepsister? I felt my stomach instantly drop. Aw, congrats, you guys. Don't we just love that darling sister? Darling sister? I could vomit. And while they played happy family, I sat there seconds from combusting.
To a happy life and a happy family.
You've got to be kidding me.
Lexi? Is there a problem?
Teeth clenched. I shot up, knocked over a chair, and snapped. You proposed to her without telling me?
But she makes me happy, dear.
You have me, the shop, Mom's car. Isn't that enough?
Of course it is. But I need Madison too. And now you get a sister.
I don't want a sister. I don't want them. You're ruining everything. So yeah, I stormed out, waiting for Dad to realize he messed up and follow me. But he didn't. Frustrated, I went back home, dropped down onto my backyard, and just burst into tears. Then I heard the sound of the motorbike's engine. I wiped my eyes and looked up. There he was, Asher, standing at the edge of the fence. He didn't say anything at first, just tilted his head, like he was trying to figure out something wasn't right with me. Then slowly, he walked over.
Hey, you okay?
No.
Want to talk about it?
No.
Want to go for a ride on my bike?
Yeah? This guy barely knew me, but since I was tired of carrying everything alone, I decided to trust him. I stood up and climbed onto his bike. My arms wrapped instinctively around his jacket as we took off down the dirt road. There were no questions, no speeches, just the wind brushing through my hair. And somehow, it made me feel lighter. But I couldn't escape reality forever. Soon enough, Madison and Savannah moved in and immediately redecorated our house. They even turned our living room into a full-on pink sanctuary. And Dad? He started ghosting our garage hangouts. I told myself he'd eventually snap out of it, that he'd remember who stayed up and helped him in the garage all those nights. But then, something happened that completely shattered what little patience I had left. I walked into the shop one afternoon, excited to try a new part I'd found. But Mom's car was gone, and Savannah's flashy car sat in its spot. My heart dropped. Before I could even process it, Savannah waltzed in behind me, twirling her car keys like it was just another casual day of ruining mine. Where is my mom's car? Why is your overpriced Barbie-mobile in its place? Oh, that rust bucket? I sold it for scraps. Your dad agreed. He was sick of you trying to fix it. Some things should just be left dead. That detonated me. I snapped, knocked tools off benches, flipped a stool, and before I could stop myself, I body slammed Savannah into a grease pit. She didn't just sell a car, she sold Mom's memory. And Dad allowed it. It felt like he'd ripped my heart right out of my chest. I couldn't take it anymore. I wanted to disappear. So I called the one person I knew would show up for me. A few minutes later, Asher's bike roared.
Need a ride?
Just take me somewhere only you know.
Hop on. I know just the place.
Just as the bike was about to take off, I caught a glimpse of Savannah lurking by the corner of the house, wearing that same evil look. I couldn't care less about that bully anymore, since I was getting away from all this mess. Next thing I knew, we were pulling up to the most beautiful cabin I'd ever seen. It was just outside town.
This belongs to my grandma. You can stay as long as you want.
I can't believe Dad let Savannah throw away the car. How could he?
I'm so sorry, Lex. I bet Savannah manipulated your dad into doing it.
You're crazy.
About you? Sure.
Wait, what? What did he just say? I looked up and saw Asher was already staring at me, smiling sweetly. Then he started to lean closer and closer. And just when I thought he was going to kiss me, my dad chose that moment to suddenly care about me. Without a second thought, I hit ignore. For the next couple of days, Dad kept calling and texting. It felt nice, but not enough to go back. Let him sit with it a little longer. Meanwhile, Asher was so sweet. He brought me a lot of food and always made sure that I was happy. For the first time since the Madison-Savannah train wreck, I felt like someone cared. But like with all fairy tales, it all came crashing down a week later when I saw an article online. It was the local news with a bold headline, "Kidnapped Teen, Ransom Demanded." At first I just stared at the screen, not thinking much of it. But then I saw the photo plastered right under the headline. It was me, hugging a tire. Savannah Lang. Without thinking, my fingers trembled with rage as I pressed her number. She picked up on the second ring. "Did you do this?" I couldn't resist that iconic pic. "You're welcome, darling sister." "Take it down, Savannah. I know exactly what you're doing. This isn't a joke. End it, now, or I go straight to the cops for extortion." "Try me. I found your biker boy's juvie record. One call, and he's back in jail. So play it nice, unless you want your boyfriend arrested." "Got it, sis?" I froze. My heart thumped so loudly I could barely think. She knew about Asher's past, and now she had leverage on both of us. I didn't want to believe it, but I had to know the truth. I walked over to Asher, who was chilling on the bench outside, trying to keep my voice steady, even though my insides were spiraling. "Savannah told me about your juvie record. Is it true?"
Yeah, it's true. I got into some stuff when I was younger. It's kind of stupid.
My brain just froze. Why didn't you tell me this before?
Because I didn't want that to be the first thing you saw in me. I'm not that kid anymore, Alex. I've been trying to move on. You know me now, not who I was then.
Before I could react, a news clip popped up on my phone.
In a desperate plea aired just moments ago, the father of missing teenager, Lexi Rivera, breaks his silence. Please, let her go. She's all I've got. I'll sell my shop to get the money. Please.
Dad, looking like he hadn't slept in days. That broke me. What was I supposed to do now? I can't do this to you, but I can't keep hurting my dad either.
You don't have to be worried about me. Whatever Savannah's got on me, she can use it. I'll go back to juvie if I have to. I just want you to be okay.
You'd risk that? For me?
For you, I'd risk everything.
Then he kissed me, and I melted like engine grease in July. An hour later, I was back home, and when Dad saw me, his eyes widened, and without a word, he rushed forward and pulled me into the tightest hug I'd ever felt.
Oh, darling, you're here. You're okay. I missed you so much.
I'm really sorry I left, but I was so upset about Mom's car. I can't believe you let Savannah throw it away.
What? No, I didn't. I hid it so I could fix it myself, since I know you've been struggling to do it for years. I was planning to surprise you on your birthday next week. It was actually Madison's idea.
That evil Savannah Ling! She tricked me and Dad into turning against each other. Well, I need to tell you something. Madison, too. So I told him everything. Every cruel prank, every lie Savannah had spun, right up to the fake kidnapping. Dad was speechless. Madison just stared at me, her expression slowly shifting from shock to fury. Savannah tried to talk her way out of it, all wide eyes and trembling lips. But I showed them the fake article. The photo. There was no denying it. And that's when Madison snapped.
Lexi, I'm truly sorry for everything Savannah's done to you. You didn't deserve any of it. And you, I'm very disappointed. For the next 3 months, no phone, no makeup. And your new after-school activity? You'll be working in the garage with your stepsister until you learn what respect looks like.
And for the first time, Savannah didn't talk back. That afternoon, I drove to Asher's cabin, with Dad's full blessing this time. Asher met me at the door, wearing that crooked smile. I told him everything about Savannah, about Dad trying to make things right. He just listened with his eyes soft and steady on mine. Then he stepped closer, gently tucked a strand of hair behind my ear, and we kissed. I felt like I was on cloud 9. Things at home weren't perfect, but they were better. Dad and I even started fixing up Mom's old car together. Just the two of us, like old times. Surprisingly, Savannah pitched in too. Turns out she's not completely useless with a wrench. As for me, I had my tools, my car, and someone who actually saw me, even if I still don't get why he did. And for now, that was enough.
Hey everyone, I'm Gabby. I'm 18 and I have the most amazing boyfriend called Hayden. He's kind, funny, ridiculously attractive, and he makes me happy. The problem is that although I know how great he is, a series of events happened that left my parents convinced that he was a pervert. I mean, it was not simply just an awkward situation you may be in with your significant other's parents. He somehow had really disastrous meet-the-parents moments. Hayden likes alternative music, and his staple clothing choice is usually a band tee and jeans. My parents are quite old-fashioned. My mom loves Frank Sinatra, and my dad is into his classical music. I guess they're just under the impression that people that choose to listen to loud music are all in a cult or something. Yeah, I know, it's ridiculous. The first time Hayden met my parents, I was a little worried, as I didn't want them to see his band tee and misjudge him. It was going well. Hayden had flattered my mom, complimenting her Black Forest Gâteau, and he'd made my dad's day by laughing at one of his lame jokes. Things seemed to go smoothly, and my mom and dad were like, "Okay, son, you almost have our nod of approval, so come on." But that was just until things started to be a disaster. Hayden then even offered to help my mom tidy up. It was as he was placing the plates back in one of the upper cabinets that his band tee rose up, and the tattoo he had of a lioness on his back was revealed. Right at that moment, my dad dropped all the apple cubes he was holding, and my mom, she dropped her jaw. Oh, for us, it was just a tattoo, but at that moment, I realized that for my parents, it was like a real lion tending to jump straight at them. My poor, naive Hayden had no idea about the storm behind him, and didn't know why my parents just smiled, sort of forced, and didn't say a word. After Hayden had left, we sat back in the most serious way ever and really had to talk about a lion who just came through our house and tidied things up. They were both furious that I was dating someone who had abused their body. They were convinced that he was a criminal. I tried telling them that his tattoo was in memory of his late mom, and it held a lot of significance and meaning for him. They didn't listen to me and said that I just made excuses because he made me blind. They were adamant that I wasn't to see him again. Of course, I ignored them. I wasn't going to stop talking to my amazing boyfriend just because he had a tattoo in memory of his mom. I was hoping that things would settle down and they'd see how amazing Hayden was. But one thing led to another. One day, I was listening to music in my room when my mom barged in looking flustered. Apparently, they'd driven past Hayden in town and saw him terrorize some kids. What? Hayden? Terrorize some kids? He is a volunteer at a local orphanage and he loves kids. My mom even said that she saw him push a little boy into a bush. I burst out laughing. The whole thing sounded ridiculous. I rang up Hayden. Turns out, he'd seen a group of kids push this boy into the bush. He chased them off, then helped the boy out of the bush and checked that he was okay. It was totally opposite. But my parents didn't hear me out. You know, if they saw a lion stand by a little deer, so of course the lion must be the hunter and the deer is the prey. If you think that things couldn't get any worse, then trust me, they unbelievably could. My parents banned Hayden from coming over, but we still hung out. One night on our first anniversary, we were out at a restaurant for a romantic dinner with candles and roses. Everything went great, and yes, again, until the last moment. I went to the bathroom, and after I finished using the toilet, my pants zipper got stuck. A handsome boy was waiting for me out there to enjoy a lovely night together, but here I was, walking out of the toilet with an undone zipper and a frown on my face. After hearing me mumble about it, he quickly understood what happened, took off his jacket, and tied it around my waist while trying not to laugh. He took me to an alley nearby, which was dark and empty, so that he could help me pull it up. And all of a sudden, my parents showed up. Like, out of nowhere! I can never forget that moment. I was standing deep in the dark, empty alley, my boyfriend was on one knee trying his best to pull my pants zipper up, and my parents were frozen in shock, with their group of friends pointing at an unknown, ridiculous couple. It was mortifying! My dad stormed over to us and shouted at Hayden with all the rude and dirty words he could think of. My parents were both so furious that I was dragged into their car right away. I was grounded for maybe forever, until I got some sense. They confiscated my phone, my laptop, and even my Walkman. Did they think that he could send me a message using radio waves, or what? One day, my dad barged into my room, found me almost bored to death on my bed, then told me that my mom was taken to the hospital and we needed to hurry up. We rushed over to her and found her laying on a hospital bed with a broken ankle and some scratches on her body, and a handsome boy was sitting next to her and taking care of her. He was none other than Hayden, my boyfriend, the rejected lion. My dad jumped in like, "How dare you?" And my mom stopped him like, "Don't be so rude, he saved my life." Both me and my dad had no time to understand the situation as another tattooed guy rushed in, bringing my mom's bag and said, "Oh, madam, are you okay? I caught that damn robber for you, so if your hands are not broken, please check your bag." Of course, her hands were fine. They were grabbing my dad's collar to protect my boy. At this point, everything was clear. She got mugged, and the unlucky robber stole her bag and knocked her off the street. Hayden and his tattooed friend showed up at that moment, and here we were. My parents eventually gave him an opportunity to explain himself. They finally realized that Hayden was a good person, and they're now his biggest fans. They're always inviting him round for dinner and saying nice things about him and about the lioness, too. It only took my mom being mugged for my parents to realize that my boyfriend wasn't a pervert. I'm glad that my mom wasn't seriously hurt and that Hayden found her on time. Even though I don't agree with some of my parents' views, it doesn't change the fact that I love them very much. I'm just glad that they now know how great Hayden is. Thanks for listening to my story, guys. My parents learned their lesson and realized that they should give people a chance before they jump to ludicrous assumptions about them. Please leave a comment if your parents have ever made the wrong judgment about someone too. It'll be great to know that I'm not the only one with mega embarrassing parents. Lisa! Lisa! Wait up! I slowed down, then turned around and smiled at Emily as she hurried to catch up with me. Well, spit it out. What hot tea do you get this time? Lisa, you are not going to believe this. Eden likes you. I raised an eyebrow. Huh? You're kidding, right? No. She furiously shook her head. It's true. Yesterday afternoon, after school, I passed by the basketball court and I overheard the boys talking about it. I think the likelihood is you heard wrong, my friend. As I continued on my way to school, I couldn't stop thinking about Emily's words. As if Eden Woodson, the most popular boy in the entire school, would like me? Impossible! Had we even spoken to each other? Oh yeah, once. In the library, he asked to borrow my pen. Not to mention, his last girlfriend, Sarah, was the captain of the cheerleading squad. So, yep, you can already tell how pretty and popular she was. They only split up because she moved away. Well, look at me. Talent? Well, my coordination is 0. Thanks to being short-sighted. Pretty? Nope. And my Coke bottle glasses don't help in this department. The only thing I was okay at was studying. which is why I was assigned the role of class president. Think fast. A cheerleader versus a class president? See? Figured. Throughout the day, Emily wouldn't quit insisting that what she'd heard was correct. Ugh. I know she meant well, but didn't she realize how humiliating this was for me? Even if she did hear Eden say that, he was probably just kidding around. Emily, please stop. I just want to take these tests in Mrs. Pierce's classroom, then go home.
But Lisa...
I gave her my best I'm being serious look, so she let out a defeated sigh, nodded, then walked away from me. Finally, peace at last. I dropped the tests off, then as I was walking back along the corridor, I saw Eden leaning against his locker as he talked to a boy on the basketball team. For some reason, curiosity got the best of me, so instead of walking past them, I found myself ducking behind the corner and eavesdropping on their conversation. So, what else are you still waiting for? Talk to her! I really want to, but I don't know. As if the most popular boy in school is dumbstruck by some girl. Who are they talking about? Could it be me? No way. Lisa, please wake up and stop being so delusional. Fact, boys like Eden would never lay an eye on girls like you. The next morning at school, I walked into class to see the boys, including Eden, chatting about last night's NBA score or something. Only Eden wouldn't quit staring at me. Did I have something on my face? My eyes met his, and then he immediately turned away and resumed the conversation with his friends like nothing happened. Huh? What did that mean? Then, during chemistry class, I kept sensing this strange feeling coming from behind, so by instinct, I turned around to check. And surprise, surprise, I saw Eden looking at me. But just like earlier, as soon as our gazes met, he stared down at his book. Okay, so that was weird. While I was thinking about his strange behavior, Emily suddenly nudged my arm.
See, I told you he likes you. You should tell him you like him, too, before it's too late.
No thanks. But what do you mean by too late?
I heard that Sarah, his ex, is coming back. Her parents divorced or something.
So what?
Come on, Lisa. He likes you.
But I don't like him. As soon as I finished talking, I saw the teacher glancing straight at me. Oh no, busted! He made me stand up in front of everyone and answer a question. But of course, I hadn't been listening, so I just stood there doing this open-mouthed goldfish look, then frantically looked around to find some help with the answer. And when I peered over at Eden, oh great, he was grinning at me. This was so embarrassing. That night, I lay in bed and got lost in thoughts about Eden. Okay, so I know I told Emily I didn't like him. It's just that I still didn't believe that someone like him could have a crush on someone like me. Curious, I spent the whole evening stalking Eden's social media account. Not gonna lie, he was indeed really cute. There were loads of pics of him watching basketball matches with his little bro, pulling goofy faces with his friends, and spending time with his family at the beach. So there were also a few pics of him with his ex, and I noticed that she'd commented on some of his recent stuff. I really wished I was brave enough to start a conversation with him, or to even ask him if he still kept in touch with his ex-girlfriend. But that would be weird, wouldn't it? But then, guess what? To my utter disbelief, the next morning, my homeroom teacher walked in, and following her was... Sarah? Oh no, I should have listened to Emily on this one. So did this mean Eden would get back with her? All day long, Sarah clung onto Eden, so it wasn't long before the rumors started buzzing around school that the dream couple was back together. Not only was this bad enough to deal with, but I also had to put up with Emily's I told you so looks. Whatever, the two of them dating had nothing to do with me, right? They could do what they wanted, and I was just going to carry on with my life. But, geez, this Sarah girl needed to stop spamming everyone's timeline with all these old photos when she and Eden were still in love. Not to mention the cheesy, cringy captions. Okay, I guess my heart ached a little. But anyway, I knew I shouldn't care about them. Only, it soon became pretty obvious that Sarah was bothered by me. Every time she passed me in the corridor, she glanced at me and sneered. Huh? Why the attitude? I barely knew the girl. Then one time, I was heading over to the cafeteria when someone shoved me from behind, causing me to fall face first on the ground. Confused, I quickly fumbled for my glasses. Huh? What was that sound? Then suddenly I heard Emily scream out, "Lisa, you just stepped on your glasses!" Oh no. Now how was I supposed to live without my glasses? Emily had to guide me back to class, and that day I could only listen to the lectures because I couldn't see well enough to take notes. By the end of the day, I was fed up and just wanted to go home. I was about to ask Emily to help me walk home, so I didn't end up getting flattened by a bus or something. But before I could ask her, she packed up at lightning speed, said bye, then hurried out of there. Haze, how thoughtful was my dear bestie? Great. Guess I would just have to navigate my way home alone somehow. It took me ages just to get from the classroom to the school gate. Then I almost bumped into someone. But fortunately, there was a hand that pulled me back. "You okay?" came a familiar voice. "Eden? Is that you?" I asked. "Yeah, I'm here. And I'm not having your death on my conscience. So I'm walking you home." He took my hand. Eek! My heart somersaulted. Then he led me to the nearby glasses store so I could buy a new pair. After that, he still insisted on walking me home, though. And on the way, we talked loads, mainly about our families and our love of indie movies. Still, I couldn't help but have Sarah at the back of my mind. I just wanted to ask him about their relationship, but now wasn't the right time, right? A few days later, during a math test, I felt something hit my back, then fall to the ground. So I picked it up, but before I could see what it was, the teacher quickly walked over, grabbed it, and opened it. Turns out, it was some of the answers to the test. Oh no! I tried explaining myself, but he told me I would get detention and was not allowed to take the test anymore. What? I couldn't get an F on my math test. It would ruin both my transcript and my college application record. I cried out to him that this wasn't fair, when suddenly, Eden stood up and said, "Sir, it was my sheet, not Lisa's." So both of us ended up being banned from taking the test, and the teacher believed that because I picked the note up, I was still just as guilty. I didn't think this day could get any worse. Oh, how wrong I was. During recess, I was rearranging my books in my locker when Sarah approached me. "Hey, how dare you let Eden take the blame for your actions? As class president, you should be totally ashamed of yourself." "What are you talking about?" "Your innocent routine may fool Eden, but you aren't fooling me. You wait and see, as I still have bigger plans coming for you." "Bigger? What other plans did you have?" "Huh? Am I missing something?"
Stop ruining things between Eden and me, else I won't let it slide next time."
What was that about? Why was Sarah blaming me? Jeez, this whole situation was crazy. After school, Eden and I had to stay behind for an extra hour for detention. Luckily, our homeroom teacher knew that neither of us would cheat, as we were both exemplary students. So that punishment was just a warning. Then, on our way out of the classroom, I asked him, "I know that paper wasn't yours, so why did you help me?" "Well, I knew it wasn't yours either. I saw Sarah throw it at you." "Sarah?" "Yeah, she was behind breaking her glasses too." "She pushed me? But why?" It was me. I'm sorry. She did that because she knows I like you." "What? Did I mishear him? Eden just said that he likes me?" "Lisa, I like you. I have for a long time. Do you want to go out with me sometime?" There was an awkward pause as I soaked up his words. He really likes me. Oh, wow, this was bonkers. I gave this huge smile. Then I nodded at him and spluttered out, "Yeah, I'd like that." So, after that, we started dating. But this didn't go too well with Sarah. One afternoon, I was walking across the schoolyard when Sarah appeared and shot me this dirty look, which I ignored. Suddenly, she pushed my shoulder, sneered, and then left. I quickly straightened myself up, then shouted after her, "Hey, Sarah, I never got a chance to thank you." Sarah immediately turned around and gave me a puzzled look. You know, for getting Eden and me together. Sincerely, thank you, our matchmaker. Then I smiled and left. I'm pretty sure that she was still standing there at me with fiery eyes. But hey, she pranked me first, right? Oh well, karma. Anyway, I just want to let you all know that if you like someone, then don't put yourself down. Instead, be confident and brave enough to tell them how you feel. Because not everyone is lucky enough to have an expert matchmaker like Sarah around to help.
Hi, I'm Belle. I'm 18, and today is my first day at Boston College. Isn't that cool? Oh, wait. I think I hear someone crying. Why don't we go shopping? It'll make you feel better. No, I don't want anything. Just leave me alone. Wait, that sobbing girl, she looked so familiar to me. Is that her? What are you looking at? The other girl snapped at me. Jeez, why so serious? The next day I decided to do the neighborly thing, so I brought an apple pie over to her. The door opened and whoa, she looked like she'd tackled a tornado. Her hair and clothes were messy and her eyes were swollen. Oh, hi, I'm Belle. I just moved here. Nice to meet you. Oh, hi, I'm Laura. Yes, Laura! Laura from elementary school. How could she not know it was me? Then my childhood memories started flushing back to me. Back then I was super shy because my family had financial problems. I was always in worn clothes. I guess this made me an easy target for some mean kids. Then one day when I was walking home from school, those kids followed me, pushed me over, then started laughing as they searched through my backpack. But then a luxurious car pulled up alongside us, and Laura peered through the window and said to them, "Leave her alone, else I'll revoke your invites to my party." After that, Laura left before I could even thank her, and the mean kids hurried off. Through my young eyes, I saw her as an angel. She was pretty and popular, but she'd still stopped to help me. Unfortunately, right after that incident, my parents thought it was best to transfer me to another school, and I never saw Laura again. Well, until now. Thanks for the apple pie. Come in if you want. Oh, yes, if you don't mind. I walked inside and oh my, her room was a mess. There were clothes everywhere, trash on the floor, and dirty dishes overflowing in the basin. Something bad must have happened to her to get her this down in the dumps. So I asked her what was up, and she told me her boyfriend had just broken up with her. The worst part was she left her family and friends behind to move here for him. But then he ended things without even giving her an explanation. Poor Laura. The breakup was over 2 months ago, but it still seemed to be fresh in her mind. I tried comforting her, but the more I did, the more she cried. The next day, I decided to swing by and check if she was okay. The door was ajar, so I peered inside and saw a glum-looking Laura sitting on the floor, hugging and sniffing something. Laura? What are you doing? I found this, and I just miss him so much. Oh, turns out she was looking through her closet for her sweater and ended up finding her ex's hoodie. That's it. Enough was enough. It was time I finally returned the favor and saved Laura just like she'd saved me back in 5th grade. You'll never move on if his things are staring you in the face. I told her it was time to get her ex's belongings. And you know what? She had a whole big box of his stuff. I took a look, and that's when I saw a photo of them. This is him? I couldn't hide my surprise. Yeah, that's Cameron, my boyfriend, or should I say my ex? Why do you ask? Oh, nothing. Just thank God you're not together anymore. The word jerk is written all over his face. Then we threw the whole box in the dorm's dumpster downstairs. The poor girl looked like she wanted to jump right in there to retrieve it. I'm going to help you get over this guy. I promise. You're about to discover just how fun being single can be. Oh, you're single too? Yeah, of course. Now that her ex's stuff was in the trash where it belonged, it was time to live our best happy single lives. Each morning, I dragged Laura jogging around the park with me and showed her how to prepare delicious, healthy meals. Can you believe that she didn't even know how to boil an egg without burning the pot? Yep, I know. It's shocking. Then one time, her basin blocked up, and she was totally freaking out. I came to the rescue with my trusted plunger and showed her how to fix it. Easy peasy. And best of all, no man was needed to save these damsels. Next, I needed to show Laura how to enjoy life because all she seemed to do was slump around her room. So, on Saturday night, I dragged her and Kayla to this really cool bar. Man, I'm thirsty. Martinis? My treat. Hold up, Laura. Do you want to know how to get free drinks? And then I told her to walk past some guys, flip her hair, and wink at them with the cutest smile on her face, and bam! Just like that, we had drinks bought for us. Laura seemed very happy with what she just accomplished, and that made me happy too. Only Kayla didn't look so thrilled about it. Maybe her martini tasted too bitter. While we were having fun, my phone suddenly rang. Oh my god. I've been longing for that call. But why now? I put it on silent and continued chatting. Why aren't you answering? Oh, it's nothing. Are you sure? Seems important. Yeah, no worries. Before I could finish my sentence, I suddenly heard someone calling Laura. Laura? Oh, Jack! Hi, it's been so long. I'm surprised to see you here. Are you alone or with friends? Before Laura could introduce us, the guy stared at me. Hey, I think I know you. Nah, I don't think we've ever met. I immediately denied it. But this guy was so insistent, he kind of made me uncomfortable, that I accidentally knocked over my glass. Then I had to make a mad dash to the bathroom to clean myself up. Anyway, that night was great. I was kind of proud of myself for proving to Laura that being single wasn't so bad after all. But then, the very next morning, disaster struck. Kayla ordered me into Laura's room, where she was curled up on her bed, holding a photo of her and Cameron. Ugh, so much for getting rid of all reminders of him. Laura sobbed out that Jack told her that Cameron was seeing someone else, and now Kayla had come up with an idea to get revenge on him. I know this hurts, but please, just ignore him and move on with your life. Pfft, what do you know? Are you on Laura's side or her jerky ex's? I just ignored Kayla and tried to talk to some sense into Laura. Thank God she seemed to listen to me and cancel the revenge plan. Oh boy, Kayla looked furious. I went back to my dorm and let out a relieved sigh. Then suddenly my phone got an incoming message. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. Okay, the truth is, I'm seeing this guy who I like loads, but I didn't want to rub Laura's face in it, so I haven't mentioned it to her. The next morning, I put on a cute dress, did my makeup, styled my hair, and excitedly stepped out of my dorm room to find stacks of trash bags in front of my door. Who on earth did this? I dragged them downstairs to put them in the dumpster, when I found all my mail in there covered in trash juice. Ew. Was this a prank or what? Whatever, I didn't have time for this. I was already late. I arrived at a gallery and saw that he was already here looking at a painting. Hey, sorry for being late. He turned around with a smile. Well, you're worth the wait, you know. Okay, please let me explain. So, yep, that's Cameron, but it's not what you think. I met him the other month as he was helping out at an event for new students. He didn't care that I wore thrift store clothes and that my sneakers weren't cool. Instead, he saw past these things and started talking to me first. So Jack was there too, which is why he sorta recognized me. I've been texting Cameron loads, and I must confess, I think I do have feelings for him. But don't get me wrong, I didn't know Laura was his ex until I saw the photo of them. Oh boy, that sure shocked me to the core. I didn't want to tell her and not only break her heart all over again, but also destroy our friendship. That's also why I didn't care to answer Cameron's call in front of Laura when we were at the bar. And I was super lucky that Jack didn't recognize me that night, or it would have been a total disaster. I know I needed to tell Laura the truth, but first she just needs a little more time to get over Cameron. Ugh. I went home from the date with a big smile on my face, but what I saw made it instantly fade. My entire makeup collection was smashed up. What? Who would do something so mean? It took me ages to save up to buy all that. As I checked to see if any of it was salvageable, I saw a long blue hair nestled amongst the carnage. Furious, I was about to go confront her, but Kayla and Laura had already appeared in my doorway. Why did they look so angry? How could you befriend me like that when all along you were seeing my ex? So your "you don't need a man" speech was all just one big lie so you could take my guy, huh? And do you really think Cameron would like a girl like you? You can't even afford a decent handbag. Right. Let me tell you this. You will never be like one of us, and you'll never be good enough for Cameron. How could Laura think of me like that? I truly wanted to help her, like she'd helped me. I totally only have good intentions, Laura. I had no idea he was your ex when we first met. The only reason I didn't tell you sooner was because I knew you needed more time to heal. And I didn't want to hurt you because I adore you and value our friendship. Do you remember 5th grade? I was being teased by these kids and you were the only one who stood up for me. I just wanted to return the favor and help you too. But hearing you say that stuff makes me so sad. After that, I shooed them out of my room and locked the door. I refused to go to lectures and ignored all Cameron's calls and messages. Maybe Laura and Kayla were right. Cameron and I weren't meant to be. We were from 2 different worlds. Eventually, a few days later, I had to go outside. Well, because I ran out of food. When I passed by a coffee shop, I saw them, Cameron and Laura, sitting together. So Kayla was right. A rich guy like Cameron would never like an ordinary girl like me. I couldn't live in the same dorm as Laura anymore, so I was packing my stuff to move out of there. Suddenly, I heard Laura's voice. Are you running away from your problems like I did? I ignored her and continued packing. You know, I met Cameron, and we had a long talk. He finally told me why he broke up with me. It was because I was too dependent on him, and I couldn't do anything on my own. But you helped me stand on my own feet, and for that, I can never thank you enough. Laura, I honestly always wanted to tell you the truth. I know, but it doesn't matter anymore. You know, the important thing now is to enjoy my independent single life, right? Oh, I got you these. Kayla was way out of line, destroying your things. Also, I think there's someone who wants to see you. Suddenly there was a knock on the door. I opened it and, oh my God. Standing there with a huge bouquet of flowers was Cameron. So it looks like I can continue getting to know Cameron now, and I don't have to move out anymore. But do you know what the best part of all is? I have my friend back.